Yo, man, fuck that shit. Let's go, Dodgers! Let's fucking go, man. Let's go. Let's go, man. I'm going to lose whatever left of my voice I have tonight. I got until Sunday to get this bitch back. Let's go. Speaking of get your bitch back, San Diego, you getting your bitches back. Wave that tongue all the way back to gas lamps, Tatis. Get all the way the fuck out of here with that. I got monetization turned off on this bitch. We're going to have some fun tonight. Yo, Profar, talk shit to the stands on your way ass out the stadium, man. Talk that shit on your way out the door. Get out of here. Get out of here. Fuck the San Diego Padres. Fuck them. Welcome to another episode of the Empire Jeff TV Dodgers postgame show. If you got children in the room, tonight's not the episode. Tonight's not the episode. It's just not. It's just not. It's not. I apologize. This is typically not how I do things. It is typically not. But this series, yo, this series took some time off my life. I feel like I'm never nervous in series. I'm never negative. This series did something to me, man. I can't even like, I need to feel, but like, that's going to help. But look, what I'm saying is this. Nah, I'm not done. Fuck them and everyone that looks like them. Get them out of here, man. Get them out of here. Send them home. Send their asses home. And don't ever come back no more. Hold up. Oh, my God. Man, okay. Where to start? Jeffrey, get it together. You got a show to do. Oh, man. Where to start, man? Look, I'm going to tell you this right now. I'm gonna get your mentions. I see y'all, man. I love y'all, man. My brain is so scattered right now. It is all over the place. I have not sat down. I'm not even sitting down right now. I raised the boom warm up. Like, I have not sat down since this morning. Like, this was masterful. And before I get into anything, before I talk about the players and I talk about anything, I really want to speak on something because now this could this is not over. We have work to do, right? We have work to do. We have 8 more wins to go. We absolutely have 8 more wins to go. I know this. This is not done. But this series damn might have been exactly what the Dodgers needed to, 1, come together, and 2, just put that battery in their back to ride this all the way out to a World Series championship. And what I'm going to tell you is this, is Dave Roberts. This was a masterclass, y'all. This was an incredible series by Dave Roberts. I know his past. I know his past. I don't know the future. But this 5-game series, even the games they lost, this was an incredible job by Dave Roberts. Absolutely incredible. I've been saying that last year and this year was his best job that he's done in blue. And while in 2019 and 2022, I would have packed his bags myself. But I'm telling you right now, Dave Roberts, masterclass. Absolutely outmanaged Mike Shit. Mike Shit. Absolutely outmanaged him. And the Dodger players, the Dodger pitching, which was the weak point of this team going into the playoffs, the elephant in the room, the Achilles heel, what everyone knew going in to the playoffs was that the Dodgers' arms were in trouble. They just put those dudes to sleep for 24 straight innings of no-run baseball. Outside of 2 botched double plays, which was a gift from the baseball gods, the Dodgers' arms, all of them said no mas, no more, none. So when it comes to the Dodger pitching, we got to acknowledge them, man.
Acknowledge me, please.
Because what they did was incredible. And to all those bats and all those the instant offense, I see you, Lucky. Lucky's got his Otani jersey on over here. Thanks, babe. Get him ready for the photo shoot later. Everyone out there that told us that these Padres were gonna just light us up, and after game 2 and game 3, I can't hold y'all, man. I can't lie to you. I was nervous. I had doubts on this team because I thought it was just gonna be the Dodgers doing Dodger shit again in this series after game 3. But the Dodgers looked at all of us and looked at that Padre offense and said,
"You are literally worthless."
That's exactly what they said. Followed up with,
"Your name is liar because you're telling lies."
And they came in and they shut us all the way the fuck up and sent Padres home, man. Oh my God. I'm just hyped. The Hernandez boys, man. Kiké came through, absolutely clapped a no-doubter. And you just felt the whole game that wasn't going to be enough. You just felt the whole game. There's no way this is going to be enough in a game 5. There's no way this is going to be enough. No way. It was in the end, but it just never felt like it. It just felt like we needed insurance. And Teo, oh my God, Teo just gets up there and clapped a no-doubter. No doubter. And we get live check-in on San Diego real quick. Live check-in on San Diego. Yo, Kawhi, laugh at him. Damn. I'm just telling y'all, man. I did not think 1 run would be enough. The Dodger team had proved me wrong multiple times in this series, and I'm perfectly fine with every single time. This was just absolutely incredible. Teo, when they signed him, I said at the time, this guy has the chance to totally impact and take over like an NLDS. I said those exact words. You can go back to the video. I said that multiple times. Before they got him, I said the same thing. Main thing I got him, I said to get him to crush left-handing pitching, right? We haven't had to deal with that yet, but he's going to help with that too. But I said that this guy can literally carry us if one of our guys or 2 of our guys struggle in an NLDS or something where we've struggled in the past. And it came to fruition. It absolutely came to fruition. Without our ace, Yamamoto, man. Yamamoto, man. 5 innings, scoreless, dominant. Gave us our $325 million worth, man. He looked like, I said earlier, man, we need the Yankee Stadium version of Yamamoto tonight. And we got it. And got the first hitter out every single time. When he was in that jam, got Tatis to ground into a double play after striking him out the first time. Tatis was owned the whole game, 0 for 4. Manny and his ears can fly out the window all the way back, looking like disfigured pork rinds, all the way back to San Diego, man. And it was, this was just something that that after game 3 felt like we wouldn't see, felt like it wouldn't happen. The wind was out of our sails. It literally felt like, here we go again, right? And it just felt like we're back in the danger zone, right? Like we're back to what the Dodgers do to us every time around this year or the last 3 years. And what they did is they told us all to shut up. They absolutely told us all to shut up, man. And like I said, man, those Padres, my man B.I.G. said it best, man. Real G's moving violence in silence, baby. Wagging that tongue, rallying up the crowd, wiping those tears. Hey, yo, Tatis. Yo, Tatis, my mans. Those tears ain't fake no more, huh? I'm sorry, I'm killing out with the air horn tonight. I'm a little trigger happy. I apologize. But man, oh man, them tears ain't fake no more. Because you don't got to fake those tears no more. Let's go, man. Let's go. We're going to take calls tonight. If you guys want to pull up tonight, let me know. We'll do some segments tonight if you want to. Or if you guys want to hear me, I don't care. That's fine. Let's do this rally cry, man. If you guys want to put up, if anyone wants to pull up, man, put some fire emojis in the chat, man. I don't typically do this, but man, this was one of those nights, man. This was one of those nights, man. And I know that by far that this season has a lot more to do. I understand that, man. But like I said, 48 hours ago, no, excuse me, what 72 hours? What a difference 72 hours makes. 72 hours ago, I thought this team was cooked, y'all. I really did. I have no problem admitting that. History has told us that with this team. 48 hours ago, man, I thought we was donezo. I thought we was hasta la vista, baby. Like I really thought that it was we were in some trouble, man. Turned out the Dodgers surprised everyone, maybe even themselves. And in a game where Otani and Mookie did nothing, I think Freddie had a single. Outside of that, Shohei, Mookie did nothing tonight. The others carried them, and that's exactly what we needed. And Yu Darvish was brilliant, man. Yu Darvish was brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And probably 9 times out of 10, San Diego would have left that stadium a winner. But Shohei now goes 0 for 5 in winner take all. Excuse me. Darvish now goes 0 for 5 and winner take all games. And 2 of them now have been at Dodger Stadium. One for us, once against us. But it was this was absolutely incredible, man. This game had us on pins and needles the entire time. I liken this series. I said it. This series felt like 2002 Lakers Kings, 2010 Lakers Celtics. This felt like it. And then after game 3, it felt like the 2006 Lakers Suns when Tim Thomas hit that 3 to win. It just felt like, oh man, it just felt like it took the wind out the sails, man. It felt like it. It didn't happen. But oh man, oh my God, like it was just this was just absolutely incredible here. And I'm at a loss for words, really. I'm really at a loss for words here. And again, Dave Roberts, man, shout out to him. The Padres gave us all we could handle. We reached the brink. They pushed us almost to the edge. And then the Dodgers rallied. They got back up. They took the punches. They got back up. They kept taking punches. They kept getting back up. And they finally landed the haymaker and knocked their asses out and sent them home. And I'm sure that those guys got some soul searching to do. I'm sure they regret all that trash they was talking. I'm sure they would regret all the nonsense they were doing. I'm sure they regret all of it because you know what? They woke up a giant. And in the end, hopefully we're sitting here at the end of October, early November, and in mid-November in downtown LA, hopefully we are thanking the San Diego Padres for waking these motherfuckers up. Because they needed to get woken up. And they did. They absolutely did. And sometimes, sometimes a gentleman got to get slapped to bring the dog out of him, right? To bring the dog out of him. We kept saying that the Dodgers were the gentlemen of baseball. And sometimes a gentleman of baseball, someone got to get him out of that. Someone's got to bring him out of it. And the San Diego Padres were exactly those type of punks to bring it out of him, man. To absolutely bring it out of him, man. And I'm going to enjoy this one till tomorrow. I'm going to absolutely enjoy this one till tomorrow. And then it's New York, and then it's Mets. And I rarely root against New York anything, but they could get it too. They could get it too. And how crazy would it be the Dodgers get the Mets and Yankees back to back, and get this World Series, man. And it felt, and it's feeling like, and it felt that whoever came out of this series was going to win it all. It just felt like it. I know the Yankees are a problem. I understand that. Cleveland is being slept on by everyone. And but at the end of the day, and the Mets, the Miracle Mets, man, they obviously, I've been talking about them for months, been talking about them forever. But I think their run has come to an end. I think it's reached a point where their luck is about to run out with us. And after what we just pulled off, after what we just went through, I think we take out the Mets in like 5. I think we take them out in 5. And they're a good team. They've been rallying. They've been doing it. Their pitching has been outstanding. Lindor, Winker, Vientos, all these dudes have been just absolutely doing their damn thing. Alonso, all these dudes, man. But at the end of the day, the Dodgers are a better team. And the way that this Dodger pitching has been going, that was our weakness. That is exactly what we had to fix. And Dave Roberts, his coaching staff, the pitching coaches, the pitchers themselves, everything. Shout out to the catchers, both the ones that in the game and work the bullpen sessions. They found something and they've unlocked something. And as a result of that, they have gotten themselves out of the NLDS and into the NLCS. And they are 4 more wins away from the World Series. And this team, this is what was on the calendar in December. This is what was being looked towards. This is what we were waiting on. And now they're one step closer to making that a reality, even with all these injuries, even with everything going on. And it's going to be absolutely incredible. I cannot get past the fact that they straight up shut them down for 24 straight innings, y'all. I cannot get past that. I cannot get past that. And I don't know if we will ever see that again. Like, I just don't know if we'll see that again. It was so incredible, man. All these San Diego guys and creators and all this stuff in the mentions that were just absolutely destroying me on Tuesday night. I circled back. I went, hold up. I went back and, I expect to get blocked by a bunch of people right now. I went back and allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is Jeffrey. And I had to pull back up on it one more time. And so they're probably giving me some choice words on their way prior to blocking me here, man. But I'm gonna have some fun with that, man. We'll have some fun with them. But I'm looking for some particular people post game, and I don't see them. And I'm gonna have to put, once again, I think this is going to be the 3rd time I used it. I'm gonna have to go to the well again. I'm gonna have to put it out there again. I think I'm gonna have to go to the milk carton, y'all. The missing person, the hogwash missing person milk carton. I think I gotta go to it, man. I think I gotta go to it. Like, Hoggy. Where Hoggy at, man? Hoggy, where you at? Where the hog at? You go back to the gas lab, to the gas can district, the gas can quarter. Oh man. You know what? There's just something about laying out a bully. There's just something about laying out a bully. Laying out someone who thinks they can just run over someone and punk someone and see them get flattened like a pancake. Oh, there's just nothing like it. There's nothing like seeing it, and there's something like doing it yourself. Nothing like putting someone in their place. You know what I mean? Nothing like it. And the San Diego Padres got pushed back in their place, man. Push back in their place. Appreciate y'all for tuning in, man. Drop a like on the video if you have not done so already. Once again, you are listening to the Los Angeles Dodgers post-game show on Empire Jeff TV. I am Empire Jeff, and I'm excited, as you can tell, man. I was running out the door about to go to the bar. I was like, nah. Let me pull up on the people that I got till 2 a.m. for the places, the tenders that don't know me, until like 4 a.m. for the ones that do. So I got some time here, man. I got some time. So I wanted to pull up and kick it with you guys and, enjoy this and celebrate this, because my God, man, this was absolutely incredible. I loved every second of it. And even though like I was stressed to the ends of the earth, I was absolutely stressed here, man. I just couldn't. I could not sit down. I've coached in high leverage games, obviously going through Shaq and Kobe era, going through Lakers all the time, the pressure. Like, I don't get nervous over sports. I really don't. Something about this series did something to me, man. Something did something. And it was He, the Dodgers should have had Kendrick on standby tonight. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, man, they should have had him on standby tonight. Oh, man, someone's going home, and it's probably a Padres. Oh, man, get on that bus. Get on that bus. Get on that bus. Let's go, man. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. I'm turned up, man. I'm turned up. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Oh, my God, man. There's just something about watching a bully get handled, y'all. Something right about watching a bully get handled, man. One second here. What? Just my phone. My phone is going crazy. I'm right here. I can't even see all these messages, y'all. Can't even see them. So, man, talk to me, y'all. Talk to me, chat. Talk to me, chat, man. Going into the game, what was your confidence level on 1 to 10? Mine was at a 5. Like I had this as a 50-50, and it turned out close to be one. So I had this as a 50-50 game. Derek Jeter, you're my favorite player ever. You're my favorite player ever. And I'm disappointed in you right now, Derek Jeter, as I see you on the screen rooting against the Dodgers in every single game just because you picked the Padres from the get-go. So you was hedging your bet on your pick rather than analyzing the game? Nah, DJ. All right, your jersey is on suspension for 6 months from me. I'm not touching that Derek Jeter jersey for 6 months, and that's my guy. But right now, if I reach to the closet to grab number 2, the captain's jersey, number 2, immediately that's going to play in my head. DJ, Big Poppy and A-Rod, they rocked to the Dodgers today, man. They rocked with them. Get on that bus. Dun, 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 dun. Get on that bus. Oh, man. Oh, man. Okay. Where's Hoggy? Where's Hoggy, man? Where's Hoggy? Where Hoggy, man? Oh, my God. Remember the last time he tried to blame it on Dodger Stadium. They had no signal in the stadium. Like, bro, they got Wi-Fi everywhere in that mug, man. They got free Wi-Fi everywhere in that mug. No excuses. Excuses is useless. Oh man. What a game, y'all. What a game. So I see some 7s in here. Let's see. I had it like a 5, man. I had it at like a 5. Just absolutely just strenuous, stressful, every which way. It was rough, bro. It was rough. And I'm telling you, I'm typically not a guy that gets nervous about sports. Like I never really have been. But this series just was different. And it just, I felt like it was the World Series. It was them talking all that trash and everything that was going on. And you just felt 1 second. I'm gonna maybe we can get Joe Soro in, man. Where's Mr. Soro here? 1 second here. I can't believe that this happened, man. I can't believe this happened tonight, man. After game 3, I was just like, man, they doing this to us again? They doing this to us again? I was like, come on, y'all, don't do this to us again, man. And when you've been through this and you've been through all the Dodger pain, which we have for so long, and it just always like something happens. It's like something just comes up out of nowhere, sneaks up on you, and then you're like, what the hell, man? Like, what the hell, man? And this time, it felt like this was happening again. It felt like, okay, here come the Padres. Game 2 absolutely smoked us in that back and forth game, kind of punked us a bit. Went back to San Diego. Felt good getting out of the first inning. Mookie scores a run in the first inning, right? And then all the wheels fall off in the second inning with those 2 botched double plays. Then TL comes back and hits the grand slam and just couldn't catch him. They just couldn't catch him. And then just it felt like if they didn't catch him that inning, then they lost their momentum and they tried all the rest of the game and just kind of died there. And then it just kind of fell apart. And then they come out in game 4. Same thing, nervous as hell. And then just, Mookie sets it off again. And then 1-0, then 3-0, then 5-0, then 8-0. And it's like, okay, even at that point, it still did not feel like the game was over, man, because it just, they can score in bunches. But 8 runs, like you knew, like in your heart of hearts, you're like, this is over. But it still felt like, bro, what in the all the way hell is going on here, man? Like, what is going on? They take him out 8-0. They come in today. And when Yamamoto, I told to myself, man, if Yamamoto comes out and just goes 1, 2, 3 in the first, and my thing was like, if Yamamoto gets through 3 innings, I feel like we're in pretty good shape, right? Get through, at least one time through the lineup at least, and then see what happens and comes from there. And then he just kept mowing him down, getting that first runner out, getting that first batter out. And Arise just did not have a good series. Profar did not have a good series. Manny did not have a good series. Jackson Merrill had moments. Tatis had a great start to this series. He's had a really bad 2.5 games after that, right? There was a lot of things that went wrong for them, and it was just the Dodgers pitching snuck up on everybody and just absolutely incredible. So this is a great game. You know what? Tonight's game was played on grass, ladies and gentlemen. It was played on grass. So let's bring up someone who actually doesn't really know about grass, but he knows a little something about turf. Let's go ahead and bring up Mr. Joe. What's up, Joe?
What's up, brother?
Let me turn my camera on.
I had a feeling you were gonna hit me up. I had a feeling I was gonna do short 8:30. And then a little bit of an itch was like, man, I think Jeff's gonna hit me up. And I told Gerald's on the road right now. I said, hey man, let's postpone it for another hour. And man, I'll tell you what, man, I'm not lying when I say this. Around the 6th inning, before Teo hit that bomb, I said these motherfuckers are gonna hit. They're gonna win 1-0. I felt it. Now, the funny thing is that I got proof. I have a camera in my living room. My wife was there, and I have it on camera. I'm what the 2 pitches that Teo took. I said, "Uh-oh, Teo, you are fucked." That is when I'm sorry if I'm cursing.
I turned monetization off today.
As soon as that second one went by and it was a ball, I said, "Man, Teo's gonna hit this one out," and he took it out, and it was no brainer. I mean, I was out, and I started screaming. And my house, when the windows and the doors are open, everyone can hear because I'm on 1/3 of an acre, and the voice travels, especially at night because it's really quiet here.
You got a baritone voice too, so it just goes.
After that, I was, and my wife usually is like, please, it's embarrassing. I go, embarrassing after what, 15,000 years you've known me and still get embarrassed. But that home run was the sealer. I said, no, we're done.
I Joe, I was sitting here and we've probably talked. We've talked more during this season than we probably have since we met each other, right? In a kind of way, we kind of got each other through this series, right? Like it was like a lot of and I know we talked about this. We were both waiting for the inevitable Dodger collapse. We were basically waiting for it, right? And for me, it wasn't game 2. I was upset. Yeah. Cheers. Let's get. I was upset in game 2, but I did not think that was the moment, right? I'm like, okay, the Dodgers got embarrassed. They're going to do something in game 3. Game 3 happens, and I was like, son of a mother, man. Just here we go again. The baseball gods just hate us, and it's going to fall apart. And then even in game 4 started to feel like game 4 last year. They got up on them early. Everything, Joe, was set up to be 2022 all over again. And then the Dodgers just said, fuck 2022 and just went, it's 2024, bitches, and just never look back. 24 straight scoreless innings against a juggernaut contact hitting offense. Just put that into perspective for the people. Real quick, for the narrative of lack of arms, worn out pen, no real starting pitching, bullpen game, and a closeout game. And we hit them with 24 straight scoreless innings, Joe. That's,
perspective changes a little bit when the end result comes. So the perspective now, because you're so in tune with what needs to get done, you have to win. You have to focus on, as a fan, this has to mean something in the end so it makes sense. Well, in the end, it did make sense because they ended up winning. What they did was, what Roberts did in game 4, I've never seen that. I've never seen 8 pitchers dominate in a game. I don't know. Has that ever happened? Ever?
I've never seen it, because in the history of baseball,
I've never
had like a bullpen game like that.
No,
in a game like that.
No, and it was almost, it's so weird, and I'm trying not. This is not hyperbole. I'm not Joe Rogan where everything in life is the greatest thing he's ever seen. No, but seriously, I've watched baseball since I was 10 years old, and I knew what was going on when I was 10 too. It wasn't just me watching with my dad and kind of running around the house. Baseball was my first sport. The Dodgers, the World Series was my first memory, understanding, talking shit at school moment in my life when it comes to sports. So since then, at least for the Dodgers, I have never seen what has happened in the last 2 games.
Yeah,
saw Kobe, Shaq-like execution.
Yep.
This is the kind of stuff guys like Shaq and Kobe would do. This is stuff that Pau Gasol and Kobe would do. And I think that's probably what's got me more excited than the wins, because I'm thinking to myself, okay, I know baseball changes on a whim, but a lot of times it doesn't. A lot of times that momentum takes you to the tail. Just the Red Sox.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes that momentum can kick in on a whim, and you ride it out for a while. Like, for instance, Dave Roberts reference here, that stolen base by Dave Roberts in 2004, that was on a whim, and they never looked back. Sometimes something like that can happen, and everything just spirals, gets out of control. And I think that in baseball, more than any other sport, that happens more than any other sport. And I think you can look to even in game 3, that botched double play. It just, even though they almost came back, you just know in baseball, teams rarely defeat that type of bad luck, right? And we were saying, and I was saying, like, they just can't have Freddie and Miggy in the next game. It's not that, it's not even really their fault. Sometimes you got to protect a competitor from themselves. They want to be out there. They want to be there with their guys. But if you're physically incapable, Joe, I think, and I want your thoughts on this. Roy, I see you. Yeah, Hoggy is definitely hiding. But he's probably sick of me. He's absolutely sick of me. He didn't know who I was probably about 10 days ago, and now he's seen me in his nightmares, man. But it's always this old punk ass little crew. I'll take him 20v1, man. But what I'm saying is, I believe, and again, I'm curious to hear what you think about this. I believe that if Freddie and Rojas played in game 4, that the series is over.
Probably. And that's the part where Roberts started this run. Because if Roberts had, and you can't ever really make the right decision in that case. You have 2 ballers in Rojas and in Freeman who want to play. And I'm sorry, I know that you have to save themselves. You have to save players from themselves sometimes. Mm-hmm. But the thing is, Freeman's got a hit. He gets hits even when he's hurt. Yeah. And Rojas was still good until that play. Was that play. And a lot of it had to do with the fact that he was injured. Yeah. However, blessing in disguise. There were 2 plays, obviously, that turned that around. The hit to Muncy.
Yeah, the range on that play.
Right? Mm-hmm. And then what's funny is then Freeman did it today too, right? So it kind of like, it connected somehow, right? And then, of course, who would be begging for that wasn't playing? Kiké,
yeah.
And now,
Kicktober,
right?
Man.
And now you cannot leave him off the roster. You cannot. Mm-hmm. Got to find a way to keep him in there. So a lot of times the blessings do come and they create a fortune. And then on top of that, Robert sat down. I'm saying theoretically, he sits down and he says, "Man, I'm sick of this crap. Mm-hmm. I'm really tired of this." And maybe he said it to the boys. Maybe he's like, "You know what, guys? I'm really tired of this. Really? Are we really going to lose like this?
I think he threw the book out. He unplugged the phone.
Okay, and that's you hit it the bullseye. You know how I know? It was even before then. What did he do when he let his starter go? Usually when Roberts goes out to the mound, you're done.
Yeah, he let him stay.
What did he do with Buehler?
He let him stay.
Okay, folks, we've been asking for this for how long? How long have we been asking for this? Doc, and I haven't called him Doc a long time. He didn't deserve it.
Yeah.
And I know I'm harsh. It is what it is, but that's sports. It sucks sometimes. But he earned his name back. And Doc, and that was like the root, the creation of the root. Doc, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, because now Buehler, and he's already hot. And I in terms of how he already is in his mind. My God, now you said, all right, Butane, go give him some. And then now I'm feeling very comfortable Sunday and Monday with those two guys going, or Flattery and Buehler going in, and then Yamamoto. I mean, shit, guys, come on. You paid the guy $325 million. Mad Dog Russo said this on what was it, High Heat.
Mm-hmm.
He goes, what do you mean you're gonna possibly do another bullpen? You just paid this guy $325 million.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as he said that, I'm like, damn, he's right.
You got to send him. You got it.
Roberts, again, hit it on the freaking bullseye with that. And it was the wins in the end are all that matter. But my God, the way they did it was in such dominant fashion that in baseball, this should resonate. And if they smoke the Mets,
I think they will. I think they take
Major League Baseball might see a Yankee Dodger World Series with the best player on the planet in it.
Yep. I gotta get the air horn on that, Joe.
Right? Right? And then you got Aaron Judge, who is the freakish guy on the right? So I mean, you got central casting, you got old rivalry, and man, what would we do if we smoked the Yankees in Yankee Stadium?
If they wanted that,
I know we would want to win.
I don't care where.
I agree with you. Yeah. But I just watched, just to get my mind in some things today, I watched the last 5 minutes of the 1985 NBA Finals, Lakers beating the curse. And it did something to me. It
brought something out.
Me beating the leprechauns in their crib. It's just like, yeah. You know.
Now let me ask you a question real quick, because I think I know the answer myself, but I want you to answer this one first. In a way, would you say that this comeback from 2-1 against the Padres was better than coming back from 3? I know the job's not done; they have not won a World Series yet. But would you say that this series coming back 2-1 was almost more impressive or bigger than coming back 3-1 against Atlanta?
Yes. I do too. I agree. The rivalry included the fact that Padres, the pitching in this game especially, was electric. I mean, Darvish, boy, you want to talk about bad luck. That was his fourth deciding good pitching game that he's lost. Yeah. He's pitched 6, and that was his 4th good outing in those 6 deciding games, and he's 0 for 6, and 4 of them were good games.
Yeah.
But I'm going to mention this too. I've been waiting to say this, because this is what's scary. We can say that after Otani hit that, I mean, I know he had an RBI single in the last game and it was huge, but Otani hasn't gone off yet.
Not really.
Oh my God, folks. If Otani starts to go off, Yankee, Tiger, Cleveland,
whoever.
You're going to go bye-bye.
If Shohei, Mookie, and Freddie have one of those games, like where they're all just like, maybe not all home runs, but they all get on 3 in a row, like, and just really get the middle to the late end of the lineup there. I love them putting Kiké in, moving him up a slot. And I loved, even though it didn't really work out today, I loved having Edman batting 9th, because I do trust him to have a good at bat. Shohei seems to not be able to, at least in this series, has not been able to do anything when no one's on base. When someone's on base, he almost goes to another level. When no one's on base, it looks like he's out there trying to just get that run himself versus trying to, I think you said at one time when they put him in a leadoff slot, it like unlocked God mode, because now he's like, I don't need to get a home run every time. I got guys behind me. Let me just get on. And I think that he was pressing a little bit when no one was on base. And I feel like he was trying to get that run himself. But when there's a guy on, he's like, okay, let me get him in. And I feel like he changes his swing, he changes his approach, and he's been masterful at it. So I think once he gets past the point of, if he treats the at-bat when no one's on like he does when people are on and trusts the guys behind him, then I think it unlocks something different here. But the guys at the plate, it never felt like one run was going to be enough. I know you said, but it just like, there's no way they're going to get through a whole game without these guys scoring. And Darvish was pitching just dominant. He's pitching enough to win, to keep them in the game, to win for a big swing. And I just kept telling myself, don't let no one get on in front of Fernando. Don't let no one get on in front of him. If he dings one, tie it. That's it. But don't let someone get on. And then when they had those back-to-back hits, Higashioka and Arise, and here he comes, and I'm like, oh God, this is where he has killed us. This is where they have killed us all season, really. And when he grounded into that double play, I felt like that was probably the biggest. I know it was 2 outs, but that was the biggest out of the series, because that is typically when the dam breaks, when the levee breaks and the flooding starts, the crooked numbers up in innings. And that's typically when that happens. And when they got him to not fly out, not like ground into a double play, and he missed pitches in the zone, Joe. Like, he had a couple of them that I thought the pitcher missed their location that he could have tagged, and he didn't. So they got lucky a couple times. But when he struck him out the first time and he had him thinking the second, and then the ground out, Joe, I think that was the biggest out in the series. And I can't say enough about Yamamoto, the bullpen, Kiké Hernandez in these moments. There's some guys who play great when the lights are at its brightest, and there's some guys who just turn on the lights so he can play in them. And that's Kiké, what he did today.
I think he hit his first year stint in Boston. I think he hit 5 home runs.
He went ballistic his first year.
Kiké has a energy that I was bummed when he left, and I knew why he had to leave. He was an everyday player. I get it. And when he got traded back, I bought a shirt. Look, I don't wear shirts with dudes on it. I don't do that. Okay, but this is Kiké. Okay, guy is Kobe, and it's Kobe taking a picture with the championship trophy on the LA Times thing, you know?
Yeah.
Kobe and Kiké, man. That's the only guys I've ever, Magic, when I was a kid, he was on my shorts. That was about it. So Kiké, I have this dream that I'm going to meet Kiké one day, and we're going to be doing a show, and I'm going to be able to introduce him as, ladies and gentlemen, we have Enrique. And Enrique Hernandez, 4-time world champion. 4-time world champion.
4-time. Oh man,
right?
He's only
I'm going all out, baby.
Okay.
Lakers, Dodgers win this one here, man.
Dynasty.
This is going to be something, right? We have Otani. We've got him coming back pitching. That's going to go a whole way. So after that double play, it made me feel a certain way. It really did too. Because I felt like you have to also gauge not only your own heart rate, but you have to gauge years of watching baseball and then gauge what San Diego was thinking at that time. Think about it. At that point, they haven't scored really any earned runs for like ever.
Yeah.
I didn't consider those runs in the second inning in Game 3 earned, even though they technically were. Yeah. The Dodgers handed them those runs. So these guys hadn't really done jack squat
since Game 2.
Game 2. And at some point, that stuff gets to you. Baseball jacks you very, very badly. And it coincided with the fact that there was this click with Doc and the players, and they're like, look, we're tired of this. We're done with this. But my God, Jeff, 10-0? One in their own house, clinching at our house, which Tatis always jacks us.
He's better at Dodger Stadium.
And he jacked us in LA. I was watching that game, by the way, when he hit 2 grand slams in LA in the same inning. I was watching it live.
I was at that game, Joe.
Oh my God, that thing! I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh, "What the hell did I just look at?"
Mm-hmm.
Someone hit 2 grand slams in the same. But I was in amazement after that last out, and I just for a second there I was like, "My God, this is why we watch. This is why I love sports, and this is why it'll never ever change."
Yeah. This is it.
Yes, and I'm going to put this on the record here at 10-11-840. I'm going to tell you this right now. If the Dodgers win 8 more games, Doc probably is grandfathered in for the rest of his career. He can quit when he wants to.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
I mean,
I think that's fair, and he'd earned it at that point. He what is that? Totally redeemed yourself, right? Like, and I understand the criticism. My pushback on Doc is my only pushback on what Doc is that I feel like he got always all the blame. He deserved blame, and there were times where he was all the blame, right? But I felt like when things went right, he never got any credit, right? That maybe it was going to take some time. And again, he has to finish this, Joe, right? He has to finish it. If he goes out after this masterclass here and just totally mishandles the pitching in the next round, then it totally undoes what he did here. That, with that being said, I don't envision that happening right now because I feel like he's just in his bag right now. But outside of that, I feel that the last 2 seasons, last season really wasn't very high expectations. They played well, but you kind of knew it was a step back year to put aside money for Otani. They signed guys like Peralta. They signed Jay Hay. They got these dudes that were just gap fillers, right? And then this year, this is that Dale Harris coaching the Lakers when Shaq came in, right? You just knew at some point that guy was gonna get fired because the team was just gonna outgrow him. This was just something that it was either going to rush him out right away if they got off to a horrible start, or put him here forever, like you just said. But he has to win it. And I'm rooting for him, obviously, because it means my team wins. And it's not going to be, aha, I was right, because he has made a lot of mistakes that earn that criticism. But I feel if that's our guy and he gets us to World Series, managing in a year where the pressure is probably the highest that he's ever faced, then I think you're right. I think he should be grandfathered in at that point.
So I don't think it's a coincidence that Kershaw's not there.
Yes.
And that kind of saves Doc from himself. Last year's frustration. I know Bobby Miller crapped out this year, but he wasn't bad last year.
He was good last year.
The fact that most of his decision-making was predicated on not being able to recognize the moment, also putting in someone who wasn't capable of doing the job.
Yeah.
But he wanted him to make the he always tried to make up for. It's kind of like when you're gambling and you're constantly doubling up, you're chasing it. That's a very that's when you start chasing degenerate.
Yeah.
Being a degenerate, right? And it became that. It became where he kept chasing, and it kept always being Kershaw. Now, when the Dodgers were up, what was it? Was it 3-0 or 3-1 in San Diego in 2022? In San Diego.
They were up.
Anderson was pitching. He was
they were up 2-0. I think it was 2-0, and then I think they got a third run.
Yeah, he was dealing, and he didn't look tired. And then he went analytic at that moment, which we were saying, no, don't do it right now. It's different with what you have today to 2024 than you had then, and of course, and that's the problem. That was the problem with Roberts taking out Rich Hill too early in a game 4. Like, you can't screw this up. Look, if this guy's dealing and it's a deciding game, and then he, let's say, and it didn't look like, look, we're not blind here, man. He didn't look like he was struggling. If he was struggling like Pedro was in 03, yeah, okay, I get that. But I swear on my eyes, I would have not criticized Roberts
for leaving him in.
And with what was working. You know, look, even today, even 2 days ago, dude, you have to risk. But the risks ended up being risks that didn't get that weren't costly. There were a lot of close ones. You can't pitch around everyone. You got to eventually throw something in the middle at Tatis, at Manny. But I think what happened was there were instances before and after that it pressed them. They became more pressed. All that bravado and all that, oh, ha, 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 and all that stuff, which is fine. I kind of enjoyed the banter because baseball sometimes can be boring.
I did too.
I'm not against
spoke
it.
on that. I did.
Right. Yeah. I'm not saying that they shouldn't be, kind of going nuts. But at the same time, when you're about that, and then all of a sudden you get a little bit of doubt, you start turning into the little engine that could.
Mm-hmm.
It then turns out that you couldn't.
Yeah.
The Dodgers basically the last two games, you're the little brother, baby.
Yeah, little brother, big brother. And what I've said was, and I told this, like, I told everyone that would listen. I said it on the show. I said everything. You want to shut him up, you got to beat him. You want to shut him up, beat him. That's how you shut him up. That's how you shut him up. They also had just about every break go their way outside of natural baseball, right? Manny running within the infield grass, getting hit there. The umpire getting hit by the ball. They had a triple play in a series before the season ended. They got literally every lucky play, and they still lost. So if not for that, the Dodgers probably win this in 4. I believe. I believe they win game 3 if they get out of that second inning. I just believe that. I have no way of proving that. I believe that. I believe that they win that game. Obviously, the universe had other things in mind, right? And it didn't go that way. But in the end, we got a game 5. We got to see what Yamamoto was truly made of. We got to see this bullpen is turning in. And again, I'm going to keep saying this over and over, and I know you know this. They have to finish it. They have to finish it. But what they did in this series and what they've done, I want to say in the last month, even prior to this series, is they have found something. They have found a way, even with the way Yamamoto was in game 1. Obviously, what happened with Flaherty in game 2. Walker Buehler not being perfect, right? But he couldn't really get strike guys out. But I don't blame game 3 on him. This was the only game where our starting pitcher was dominant, right? They have found a way to get wins when the starting pitching is not dominant, because the bullpen has been so dominant. And they've also found a way to do it with their stars either being out to injury or being half dead for half the series against probably the number 1 contender against them in this postseason. I don't know if they're going to face a team as deep. I don't know if they're going to face a team as balanced. Now, they've got stars on other teams that can kill you. If Aaron Judge hits you for two jacks in a game, Juan Soto gets crazy. If they reach that, if the Mets get on a streaking or they have one big inning, I don't think you're going to find a more balanced, deep team when it comes to starting pitching, bats, bench, and pen. I don't think you're going to find that on any team left in these playoffs. And they just beat the team that had it in a short series.
The Dodgers might have saved the current format. I think if the Dodgers had lost this game, Manfred would have changed this. And I've always been a proponent of making sure the regular season matters. And I know it's exciting to have anybody win, but I believe in greatness. I believe in complete greatness. I believe in from start to finish to be able to see what greatness is. And I know they're not going to lessen the participants, which I because my format would be make it the NLDS 7 games, make NLCS 7 games, and then World Series. But you're going to lose a playoff spot. You're going to have 3 division winners and a wild card. I would prefer that, but they're not going to likely do that. But
too much money in this,
right? But you can't deny that the San Diego Padres, in my view, is they are in a lot of ways the 1A to the Dodgers 1.
Yeah,
they were stacked.
Yeah.
Now, I know Muskrat was out. By the way, I call Muskrat guys both, right? But then again, we don't have Glass now. Mm-hmm. So Padre fans, I don't want you talking about that, please. We basically had a half of Freeman set free. We didn't have the man.
Yeah.
Rojas, who was just destroying You heard me say he's going to win us a playoff game. I didn't know he was going to get injured.
I felt he would have too.
Yeah, Rojas was killing it at the bottom. I mean, any time you can play that good at the 7, 8, 9 spot. I mean, guys, those guys are assets, especially with Otani at 1. The stress, though, see, even though Otani didn't really play to the standards of what he should play, the guy still had RBI singles. He still hit.
Yeah, he hit that big 3-1 home run.
Still hit a bomb that mattered.
Yeah.
He still hit a bomb that mattered in the first inning. Now, he played against his hero twice.
Yeah.
His hero, the master, dealt the apprentice. It happened. Maybe next year we'll see a reverse, right? This, Obi-Wan beat Anakin. This is that movie.
At the plate, but Yamamoto beat him on the mound.
Yamamoto. So now we talk about, you were talking about how, man, if these things didn't happen, we would have finished them in 4. But remember I told you about the perspective?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, because it worked out this way, we got a chance.
We got Yamamoto. Yeah.
And Yamamoto got the opportunity to deal in a close game with this much pressure, with that arsenal, and shut him down in 5 innings. And I have no doubt that if Roberts had to go 6, he would have gone 6 without allowing anything either. But he made sure. He's like, I got you. Just go find.
Yeah.
Got you. Because we got everybody. I hope Vesia's fine, okay?
I haven't heard any update on that.
And I want to thank Vesia. I want to thank Vesia for not being a selfish, because
it's staying out there. Yeah.
Again, there's a fine line between being selfish and being the tough guy. Dude, you screw that up, you're not comfortable. Pitchers can't be uncomfortable. It's just that's the way it is in baseball. Pitchers get the little bit of the leash because their mechanics get all jacked up when they're not. Thank you, Vesia, for being like a team guy there and going, hey, man, I'm jacked up. I can't do this.
I can't get it done. Yeah.
And then we see Kopech come in there and, oh, my God.
I want to touch on that, though.
Go ahead.
You know how hard it is for a reliever to go out of routine, right? He was not ready to go in that game yet. So finish your point, but you probably were going there.
No, go. I got my point out. Go ahead. Go
okay.
ahead. Yeah.
For they botched. I got nervous there, and the reason why is because he wasn't warmed up, ready to go. He did all his warm-ups on the mound, and that some dumbass at the stadium threw on his song in the lights while he was warming up on the mound. So I had him throwing in the dark, right? And I'm like, oh God, like this. Here we go. This has all the makings of causing some type of collapse here, right? But he came up there, and when he hit the 100, and his location was tight. But speak to, because we talk about how little moments can lead to something. Explain to the people how something so little as not having a normal routine can throw off a reliever, like what happened to Kopech. Not knowing he was going in that. He was probably preparing to come in that inning after Vesia went through Merrill. He was probably going to face Merrill, and then it was probably going to be Kopech that came in. But the fact that he was not ready for that matchup, was not prepping for that matchup, and got brought in. Speak on how difficult that is for a guy to be. It shouldn't be, right? People don't think about it. But being thrown out of your rhythm, throwing out of your routine, and basically no bullpen session, had to warm up on the mound. Speak to the difficulty of that, especially in that moment.
It's crazy that you mentioned this because, again, only you and the staunch baseball guys, not even like baseball people. And I don't have a lot of baseball people in my circles. Everybody, their brains are too slow for baseball.
It's a tough sport.
The two most emotional gassers, and you have this moment where you're like, shit, right? And what happens, and we just talked about Yamamoto having the chance at seeing that, and it was that we had to sacrifice a game that they made mistakes in, but what it produced was a moment where now this could propel you for the rest of the way. So now let's talk about Vesia and Kopech. Vesia is a freaking firecracker.
Yeah.
Kopech is a bomb.
Yeah.
And there was someone that came in there, the baseball gods, the devil, I don't know, whatever. They came in there and they said, we don't want this to be too easy for you. What happens? Vesia does the ultimate team decision. Boys, go get this for me. I can't do anymore. And he already made a great play anyways.
Mm-hmm.
He already had a
got
great
us out. Yep.
Got us out of that last out. So he already did his job. He just was unselfish to say, boys, I don't have it the rest of the way. Please, I'm sorry, but something tweak. And then Kopech comes in and absolutely just
mows it.
Nothing. I mean, his nickname, I call him Gas. He's Gas.
Yeah. And
absolutely gasses the next three guys. And there's always that question, is he too gassed? Not tonight.
Not tonight.
That sets the table now for the rest of the way.
Yeah.
Now he's facing Lindor, or definitely facing the
Lonzo,
right?
Lonzo Vientos,
like faces the polar bear. Boys, you want to see some? For those of you who don't like baseball and don't have a brain for it, you guys are going to see something probably here in a week. You're going to see Kopech pitch to the polar bear.
Mm-hmm.
That's what baseball is all about.
Yeah.
And we're gonna enjoy it, and God willing, we're gonna come out on top on that. So not only Yamamoto seizes the moment and the opportunity came, and he did. Now you have this little kind of nerve-wracking situation that fans like us are recognizing. Well, what did the two hottest as in literally hottest head guys on your team in the bullpen? They came through, and it was like it was nothing. And that to me was it. At that point, I'm like, no, these guys got it, man. That
was everything. And you knew I Trinan in the chamber, right? The balance of he brought Kopech in what, like the third or fourth inning in game 4. So he's not used to pitching that early, right? He's been a starter before. So all these guys Trinan closing today, like all these things that happened in this game. And you talk about gas and you're worried about him being too gassed. Kopech was too gassed in game 1. They had to come get him. He was too gassed in game 1. He's been incredible since. I think Yamamoto was a little gassed in game 1. They had to come get him. Incredible today. Vesey at times can get way too gassed and tries to add a little extra to it, and the ball starts flying high or flying to the out of the zone. Yamamoto, I think, only had 2 instances that I can remember where he was too gassed in this game, where he tried to when he got 98 instead of 97, it was way out. That extra mile an hour he added, but he learned from it. And I loved how he was waiting to throw the pitch that saw him tipping in game 1. He held that until the second time in the lineup. So it was very smart what he was doing. John Smoltz might be, if he's not the best, like Joe Davis, I think is the best play-by-play guy in baseball. If John Smoltz is not the best, like number 2, the color commentator or analyst, I don't know who is. He is incredible out there. And often exactly what he tells you is about to happen or what should happen if a pitcher is doing what they're supposed to, happens. He is so good out there. So when he was sitting there and talking about how Yamamoto is setting him up for this, to do that, and to do this, and to do that, he was literally hitting all those. And to get inside the mind of a pitcher who went to multiple World Series, went from starter to closer, and getting the mind of that is kind of special. And the way he broke all that down, even for a guy who's watched baseball my entire life, I feel like listening to John Smoltz, I still learn.
In my view, he's the best color guy in all of sports.
He's great. Yeah.
I'm amazed at just the acumen and the delivery and the way to make things, the way he articulates the pitches, the way he makes it make sense to the people who don't know what a changeup is and why the changeup should land in the corner, why a four-seam should, for this particular batter, should land on the top edge. Oh, and also let's congratulate I can't remember who was his name, the umpire tonight. Wow.
Yeah, they were good.
Probably one of because the umpiring this last week has been not good.
But the home plate guy today.
Oh my God, the home plate guy was
barely. I can't even think of. Maybe one slightly, but outside of that, he was consistent. He was consistent the entire game. He
wasn't calling anything outside or inside that wasn't on the line.
Or too low. He wasn't.
You were upset, like you're like,
yeah.
But then when you get the replay, it was out of the zone.
Yep.
So down the road, which is going to happen, it's just inevitable. They're going to eventually do an auto, right? So props to the umpire. Props. going back to Roberts and identifying, putting Kopech in the third. Look, man, unless I've been like not interpreting things the right way or I'm making something up here, please correct me if I'm wrong. Dude, Dave Roberts did stuff that wasn't Dave. Who puts in their closer in the third? Like, that's what I've been talking about.
Mm-hmm.
You got to have the pulse. You got to have the pulse. Each game tells you what to do. There is a plan. You want to run the plan? Yeah. But the little things like keeping Buehler in to get that last out, setting up your I guess your reliever who now can't pitch and setting up, okay, well, let's go put in Kopech again here instead of in the 8th or the 9th. I mean, I don't know. I'm so excited right now for Sunday. It's going to take forever now. And my God, Jeff, if they blow out the Mets on Sunday and they win game 2 in a close one, let's say, I just want to see a 2-0.
Yeah. We
have not had that since we had it in Chicago in 17.
In 18, I felt like we had it in 18.
18, we should have lost to the Brewers.
Didn't we go up 2-0 on Milwaukee?
No.
We went 1-1. The game 1 and 2 was in Milwaukee.
Yeah, we were supposed to lose to Milwaukee. They battled that out in 7.
Game 19, we went out in the first round.
Yeah.
2020 Padres. We swept the Padres in 2020.
I'm saying in Dodger Stadium, like in.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry, folks, if you're confused. I'm basing a lot of my stats on actual in their stadium and in the visitor stadium. 2020, obviously, they were playing in Arlington the whole.
Who do we have round 1 in 21? That year might have been it too.
21, it was the Giants.
We didn't go 1-1. They got one on us.
They beat the Cardinals in that one game.
And then they had to go to San Francisco.
And then they split in San Francisco.
Yeah. And then obviously 22 we lost.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's been probably
So the last 2-0 was against the Cubs in 2017. And Kiké hit 3 home runs in that series and won a game.
In one game.
Yeah.
And
so for me right now, and what it does is it really starts to set the table. Those kind of things set the table. Win at home. Win those first 2 games at home. Now you go back to New York, you split, then you come home and finish these suckers in 5, and then you wait for the Yankees to hopefully show up, and then you whoop that ass in the series. That's my dream right now.
Man, and you kind of penciled this. You said the dream. I think you used the dream path would be San Diego, Mets, Yankees, and we're heading down that. We're heading down that path. So.
It's arguably the 2 favorite places in my life. I love New York. If I was not a family man, I love New York.
So,
right? I love New York. If I was, I guess, debutante rich, I can get a flat out there, right? My family loves New York. We've gone to New York a couple of times with the kids and the wife. Even took my in-laws with us this last January. It was this end of December after Christmas. Was awesome. I love New York, and I could totally spend a lot of time there if God willing, I can have the resources to do it. And then you take care of Southern California, and then you go to New York. You take care of New York in your league and in the other league, and not only you beat the Yankees, that's like the Lakers beating the Celtics.
Yep. And the media is going to be against it's LA. It's the 2 biggest media markets also. So it's just going to be, it's great for baseball. MLB. You might not be wrong, BC. You might not be wrong. What did BC say? Let's see. Yankees won't survive. A lot of people have been saying that. I thought that Kansas City was going to give them a better run. Now, whoever comes out of this, Cleveland, I think that, Scuba's going in game 5. So Detroit's going to have a chance there, right? I felt like a lot of us slept on Cleveland. Cleveland's very good. And they're going to be at home. I think they're the team that literally no one is talking about, and they were the number 2 seed, right? But I feel like no one is talking about them. I think Detroit can get them. I think they can win. As a matter of fact, I think I picked Detroit in this series. But don't be surprised if Cleveland can end up in the World Series too. They absolutely can. They can. So can Detroit. At this point. So I think my dream matchup is Yankees-Dodgers. That's what I want. That's what MLB's dream is. That's what the media's dream, the networks. Everybody wants that. Will we get it? That remains to be seen. But outside of that, after what we did today and in this series, I feel like when the Lakers beat the Kings in 2002, you knew the Nets had no chance. You knew, okay, that was the finals. I don't want to disrespect the teams that are left, and it's a different sport, and baseball can get murky. But it really feels like these were the two teams. The two, like whoever won this series, I felt was going to be the favorite to win it all. Whether they do or they don't, that's another story. But I felt that whoever won this series was going to win it all. And as long as we'll see what happens with Vesia, if the Dodgers can just hold on to these arms, that's the concern for me. Vesia, we'll see what happens there. I'm hoping we get Gratterall back, right? That's another arm. Like, you know what I mean? So if our arms can maintain, then I think we can get anybody, especially after knocking out the Padres. Do you think that those were the two best teams?
I honestly feel that the Padres and the Dodgers were actually the two best teams in the major leagues in the playoffs. I really do. Padres had every reason to win it all this year.
Yep.
They have the swagger, they have the players, they have the pitching, they have the attitude, they have the bullpen. They had everything. And we get spoiled as Dodger fans. We don't look at our own players as these gods a lot. We're too entrenched in the moment. And when you're watching 162 games, well, I'll say I've watched 100 games, and then I kind of waffle between, let's say, the other 62 every now and then here and there, like a few innings here and there, right? Although I did watch, I think I clocked it at 128. I watched, this is why I was so pissed in 2022. I watched 28 regular season games in 2022, like from beginning to end. That was the most I've ever watched. And then the other games, I sort of found a few here and there, but I watched almost all the games. So we are very hard on our players. We're very hard on everybody. But the Dodgers are the Dodgers for a reason, and they showed it here this last few games. Hell, in the series. If you didn't think this game was probably going to go 5, you were probably in denial, which a lot of Dodgers were, because we always want to sweep. We have that, win all the games. But if you come out of that blue fandom, there was that little guy in my ear going, dude, this is going 5. You better get ready for it. And it did. And it
had all the makings of it.
Yeah, it should go 5. The only thing is I didn't know they were going to do what they did in Game 4. Game 4 was a game changer.
Wow.
Not supposed to do that. And they did. And not only did they do it, dude, how long have the Dodgers been in playing baseball? They've been playing baseball since before 1903 when the AL and NL started playing, right?
They were 135 years.
1800s.
135
8-0. The biggest upset that they've ever had in their history. Come on. And then not only that, they return home and shut their ass out again.
Yeah.
This doesn't happen in baseball.
Nope.
Especially with that talent, a goose egg. And to add more to it, dude, they had him in goose eggs from 3rd to 9 in Game 3.
Mm-hmm. 24 straight innings.
There is. I don't know how you get back. I don't know how that doesn't affect the team in a way where they're just like, we're done. We're going to destroy everybody the rest of the way. I don't see how that's not going to happen.
Big Papi said that. He said the Dodgers found themselves in Game 4. He goes, honestly, the Dodgers found themselves in Game 3, but they really like showcased it in Game 4. And he goes, they're going to ride this the whole way. They're riding it the whole way. And he has experience in that because, like I said, look what happened to that team that he saw in 2004. And he flat said, he goes, Dave's been through this before. Like like he was talking about. So not only that, there's that wrinkle. There's Dave potentially going back to Yankee Stadium, managing with the Dodgers when he was on that 04 Red Sox team, right? So there's a little layer there. That story will definitely be brought up and that will be talked about, right? But that's damn near almost half a Bulldog streak when he did it, right? Of scoreless inning. It is insanity to think that we just 30 years from now it's going to be a stat that someone brings up. Like, that's nuts. That is nuts. What happened there is nuts. And that's why I said I feel this 2-1 comeback was bigger than the 3-1 comeback against Atlanta. because this was in an actual away stadium, and never has a TBD performed this great. Like, we didn't know, like they said, bullpen game, but we didn't know how it was going to go. We didn't know how it was going to play. And shout out to Brazier, man. Brazier starting that game. I don't think a lot of people have talked about him.
4 outs,
the way he
man.
started game 4.
Ooh.
None of those other guys were set up for success if any of those guys hiccup, any one of them. I don't think the Dodgers could do that again if they tried. You know, like that performance, they were all perfect. And that just doesn't happen in baseball. Tonight, they were perfect at 24 innings. And if you would have told me after we saw game 2 that the Dodgers were going to end up outscoring the Padres in this series, didn't see that. There's so many things I didn't see coming after game 2.5, halfway through game 3, that all of a sudden it's like the Padres hit a wall and the car was salvaged. Like, they just, nothing would work after that. The fact that the everyone's talking about when Mookie struggles or when Otani was struggling, but Luis Ariz, Profar, Manny, these guys, the Dodgers pretty much own, outside of Manny's home run in game 1, which turned out to not matter. They owned him the rest of that series for the most part. And he had some long fly ball outs in San Diego and 2 tonight. But they, outside of that, you knew that if you could just find a way to limit Tatis and limit Merrill, those guys were carrying them. And once they did that, once they took those 2 away, it was it.
I think the underrated pivotal performance by the Dodgers was keeping Ariz at bay. If he has his normal outings, he's getting on base and setting everybody up in ways that likely probably produce a winning series. But they kept him at bay. Cronenworth has had a habit of playing very well against the Dodgers.
He's been a killer. And
they took a dump on him, thank God. And I'm being kind of vulgar on that one because I was tired of him.
Yeah, so was I. He never played that well against anyone.
I was sick and tired of him.
He turned into Ted Williams.
Tatis didn't bother me. Manny didn't bother me. Jerkson didn't bother me. None of those guys bothered me when they were showboating, slap-assing, and tongue wagging. It's Cronenworth that was irritating me the most because I'm like, this motherfucker better not start hitting now.
Yeah.
Hitting a little bit. And I'm like, oh, my God. Here comes John Paxson of the freaking.
Yeah. Just aren't hitting out of nowhere.
Yeah. So, but again, it's. We're spoiled. I'm spoiled. Okay. I watched greatness on top of greatness for so long. Kobe, Shaq, hell, our role players, guys like Derek Fisher, Robert Ory, Ron Artest in Game 7,
Ryan Shaw
in the whole 09 playoffs. I mean, we not only have been fortunate enough to watch the megastars be who they are, but we saw the intangible guys become great and win championships, and not just 1, not just 2, not just 3, but 6 for my Lakers. And then I thank God, because I was too young to watch the Steelers in the 70s. I had the privilege of watching the last great football being played in the 2000s. And I was blessed to be able to watch Troy Polamalu and Big Ben and Hines Ward and Jerome Bettis and all these guys. And not only that, but they won multiple championships and played in epic games. And my God, I've seen 9 championships since 2000 from all 3 of my teams. And the Dodgers in 2020, how about those games? Coming back from 3-1, dropping, what was that, Game 3 where they dropped 80 runs, right? Hitting a home run. Kiké hitting the game-tying home run. Bellinger hitting the game-winner again.
Man. 2
and then,
role
of course, players. 2 role players. And then seeing what they did in Game 6 against the Rays after Mr. I always call him sad bags.
Yeah, they took out Snell.
He's got to get some kind of vitamin D in that. I don't know what the hell. He just cried for like 20 hours. But the fact that that whole sequence and seeing Urias before he turned into brain shit.
God, what a waste!
Deal that whole run. I just, again, I'm used to that, and when we don't get it, it triggers kind of an immature, unsettling kind of response. I kind of go back sometimes. I'm like, God, this is still sports. The other team sometimes plays better.
Yeah, we're just very passionate though.
Yeah,
and we don't hide our passion.
Well, I get mad at myself when I get derogatory towards people. Sometimes I'm mad at myself. Like you shouldn't call people names. That's a stupid thing that I do sometimes. It pisses, I shouldn't do that. I shouldn't call Doc names, man. I can say he's choking here, he's doing that, but I don't need to call him names. That's not right. And I don't do it. I haven't done it a lot. I'm just saying I've done it, and I should do that.
Well,
but,
you have regrets, right? You get caught up.
Yeah, absolutely. And usually I don't have regrets. I have regrets when I call people things that I shouldn't be calling. This guy's a family man. He's got kids. He's got dogs.
He's got dogs. Yeah, the dog.
I don't want to do that.
Where's Lucky? I gotta show up the people Lucky with his Otani jersey right now. He's got it all right now. So we was running around earlier. He does this thing whenever something happens. I'm very loud, right? So I clap loud, I celebrate loud, I scream loud, and Lucky gets so excited. He has his own little like celebration dance that he does. And I was at first calling, because when I first got him, it was coming into football season, so I called it his touchdown dance, because the Giants actually, I was calling him like the Giants' good luck charm, like, because as soon as I got him, we had a great season for the first time in a while. And he had his Giants jerseys and all this. And the Giants were actually liking the posts of him, right? It was hilarious, right? But anyway, so now he gets so excited. So when Teo hit that home run, I clapped so loud, and he came out. He was doing his touchdown dance thing, like it was hilarious. So yeah, but back to that, like, yeah, you're right about that. Sometimes like we get caught up in the moment and calling people names. Now, even opponents, like sometimes you'll say some stuff. Like you said about the Tatis stuff and the pro fraud. I said several times, I don't really have a problem with that. I like baseball being celebrated. NBA, they celebrate every basket. They celebrate stops. They celebrate scoring. The pitchers have celebrated over hitters for centuries when they strike them out. I have no problem with a batter celebrating a home run. I don't have a problem with that. I don't think that they should. I don't believe that they should taunt fans, because I think they're playing with fire, talking trash, getting hyped up, playful. I don't have a single problem with what Profar did when he caught the ball. He got caught up in the moment. He celebrated. He didn't say anything to the fans. He just jumped up and down. You make a play like that, you deserve to live in that moment for a second. He said nothing to the fans. It's when he went back out there and started talking trash. And then when the Tatis stuff was still funny to me, even though I think he shouldn't have done it. But you seen that one where he's turned around with his hands behind his back? I like that. I laughed at that. I really did. But then I thought about families and kids in the stands, right? And I'm like, okay, probably shouldn't do that. But the fake tears thing, I tell them those tears aren't fake anymore, but I still really didn't hate on that. The wagging the tongue thing, but there was a lot of funny in what I saw them do, actually. Like to me, it was just like, okay, these dudes talking shit. Like, I'm fine with that, because I come from the cloth of same thing when it comes with the Lakers and Denver. That's a whole other conversation. My thing with Mike Malone is you want to shut them up, beat them. Like, the rule is if they beat you, they can talk. They can talk. Sometimes they talk too much, they don't get away with it, right? And that's what happened with the Padres. They talked too much, they didn't get away with it. They probably learned from this, right? But to shut them up, you got to beat them. And that's what they did. So I'm with you. I don't really care about baseball is a little too tight at times. They kind of don't let these people shine too much. I'm happy that's kind of opened up a little bit. But I think taunting fans goes a little too far, especially Dodger fans. You're playing with fire, especially the pavilion.
There's a scene in the movie Cobb where Tommy Lee Jones is getting everything thrown on him, right?
It's a good movie.
It's a beautiful, great job. Yeah. It's a beautiful. The DP on that absolutely knocked it out of the park. Should have got an Oscar nod for that one. I don't know. You might have, but I don't know. But it was a scene that made me embrace the villain. I like being booed. I liked that attention. I'm messed up like that. I've had friends of mine like, "What's wrong with you?" I'm like, "What? There's nothing wrong with me." He's like, "Why do you not liking you?" I go, I'm not. It's just I'm reacting to the noise. And when you were talking about the little hip thrust by Tatis, you know, you can't sit there and say, oh man, I can't believe that. Look, we saw the Nature Boy do that for 5 decades, and it's part of the excitement in that, because they did that, they upset the guys that are Clark Kent's up taking their suits off and going, all right, motherfucker, Superman out now, and they absolutely demolished. Dude, it's starting to settle in now. Dude,
I know.
The Dodgers, they didn't just finish the Padres.
No.
Dude, they shut them out.
Yeah.
Twice.
Yep.
Twice. That does not happen. It doesn't happen. They destroyed this team, and this team is damn good. How the hell are they not going to take this and go, we are going to mow both City and Yankee Stadium? I know I'm getting ahead of myself with the Yankee thing, but I don't give a shit. They make it, they make it. I'm picking the Yankees.
Into existence, Joe. Speaking into
I don't
existence.
care. I don't care. Go. You know, if I'm wrong on that one, I don't give a shit. I want the Yankees. If the Dodgers beat the Mets, I want the Yankees, and I want to. My instinct, my first instinct is I want that trophy.
Yeah,
that trophy in Yankee Stadium with the Dodgers taking pictures on home plate, on the mound
in the Bronx. And the funny thing about villains, Joe, you almost can't have a hero without villains, right?
You can't.
So it's so I'm with it too. Like you said, villains' lives matter, man.
I'm more of an anti-hero, I think, though.
Anti-hero, yeah. There's anti. And it's it's funny when you see that, because it really does give you kind of an appreciation, like for it. Like that's what I think. The ultimate anti-hero to me, the first anti-hero that I'm gonna try not to go down a really too far off path here. The first anti-hero to me that really made me of anti-hero mind was Tony Soprano, right? So it was like Tony Soprano, Omar from The Wire. Like, I know they're fictional characters, but the first like anti-hero that I was like, you started like, it made the Walter Whites, like all these guys. It made these things to where you could root for a guy, you know, Franklin from Snowfall. It made it so you can root for these guys that, you know, it did to a point in some of these shows where they had to make these guys do something so bad that you had to turn on them. Like, you had to be like, okay, no, I can't go that far. They had to make that character go so far, so then you'd be like, okay, so the show can almost justify doing what they had to do, right? Because we were rooting for them at every turn. And so that's how you know it. So the anti-hero, and I think somewhere in the baseball god universe, they did something to make it to where, okay, we can't, no, you're done now. We can't, you served your purpose. Now you've been dismissed, right? Now, bye-bye. Now get out of here. Now we're going to go and we'll deal with the Mets, and then we'll go beat your older homie Soto on the Yankees from there. So I think I like villains too. I think a good villain brings the best out of a good hero. And honestly, Joe, I don't know if we win this series two-part question. I don't think we win the series if the Padres don't pop off like that in game 2. And I don't think we win the series. Damn it, I just lost my train of thought. If that doesn't pop off in game 2,
it's okay.
I forgot the second.
You got a lot going, man.
Yeah, I just like you. It's settling in now, right? It's starting to settle in. I don't think that we win this series if they don't pop off in game 2. I think that woke up something in the Dodgers. And I still think they would have won game 3 if not for that miracle. But damn it, what was my other point? It'll come to me though.
Go ahead, think about it. I'll start dialoguing on that point. We're starting to settle into what happened, and we've been very excited. And as fans, we continue to find points in the series that turned the series. When in fact, I think in the end, when you finally kind of, like, let's say by tomorrow, all the excitement's done and it's registered, and now you're ready to start, looking for for the Mets on Sunday. This is how it was supposed to end. I just wasn't expecting the domination, but the Dodgers were supposed to win this series in 5. Why? Well, they won the division. They won a game at home and they won a game on the road. And then they had the privilege of, or I should say privilege, they earned the decider at home for what they did in the regular season.
Yep.
And they won. And this is how this was supposed to play out. But because there's been so much heartache in so many different scenarios and different circumstances, the pitching's not there. Certain guys got hurt, Muncy's arm, blah, blah, blah. All this stuff plays in, and it all played out that way here too. There was guys that were injured. This year's Muncy is sort of Freeman, even though Freeman can still play. Rojas, killing it as a shortstop, and all year we were struggling there, right? We had to move Mookie over there, but finally we figured that out, and he gets hurt. Where do we play Kiké? Why aren't we playing Kiké? Well, that guy getting injured now allowed Kiké to get in, and look what Kiké did. So this is how it's supposed to play out, because no team goes in unscathed in anything in the postseason. There's someone injured, someone blows out their arm, someone blows out something, someone is mentally fragile, someone is in a slump. It's all that stuff. But what they did in this series is they said, all right, we're getting dealt all this crap again. We should be conditioned by now. We've been doing this how long? Okay, we're 2 years away from having a run like the Braves in the 90s to the mid-2000s. Let's not have one World Series out of this thing.
No. We need a dynasty here.
No, we need a dynasty, folks. They got to win at least 3 championships with Otani on this team and Yamamoto. You got to have that. And what a way to start that, by doing it in year 1. You do this in year 1, holy shit. It's just like anything else. Look at the Lakers in 2000. Okay, they hire Phil Jackson, and even Phil said this. Phil said, "Hey man, we got to get the triangle kind of down a little bit. Get acclimated to winning." Well, yeah, they did kind of struggle in the playoffs. They weren't able to close teams out, but at the same time, they're like, "Fuck this, we're gonna win it now," right? And man, what did happen? They ended up three-peating.
Yep.
So I'm settling in now, and I'm saying, all right, San Diego was, in my opinion, the second best team in the league.
Yep.
And
very, very close. Very close.
1A in a lot of ways. 1A. So now, you're playing a hot Mets team, but what shuts down hotness? The coldness of good pitching.
Yep. And
if you can do that in game 1 and 2, win those 2 games, now you have all the momentum. And then now you go to New York, pop one off there, come back home and close the sucker out. Now, if they win both those games in New York, okay. Steal one later and win one at home. Or win on the road, whatever. But I am very comfortable right now. I'm very comfortable in that I'm confident that this will work out. It might not. Mets might still be the hottest team after this. But what I did get out of this series is I saw things I hadn't seen before. And when you see things like that, you've never seen a team go back from 0-3, right? Bo Sox did it, and they ended up winning it all. I feel that right now. It could change. It could be something like the 2001 World Series, too, where the Yankees just kept destroying in the late innings. And then, Arizona still ended up winning in Game 7. But then again, at the same time, it's 2-1. You have Rivera there. That you win those games usually. It was a free
that was a great series. But that one, if you played that series, if you played that game probably 20 times, that probably happens once, and it happened in the one that mattered, right? More than likely does not happen again. Come here.
It's.
Hold on, look at this.
I feel sorry for those people who.
Look at this, Joe.
What's up, dog?
Luck.
What's up, dog?
He's like, he wants his beer.
Beagle. Is that a beagle?
The beagle, yeah. Come on, down, button. Down.
Props to Lucky.
Oh.
But yeah, this is man, I feel like we're gonna go into Sunday with just okay.
Yeah. But the Dodgers can't. The Dodgers gotta the Dodgers got to get past this, right? But
they do. But I like Flattery starting game 1, and I like Butane starting game 2. Everybody's well rested.
Yep.
I just hope Vesey is okay because we're going to need him for Lindor in the late innings. The Dodgers are in a very, very good position here. They have the horses, and here's the scary part for the future, for the near future. Otani hasn't gotten hot yet.
Nope.
God help you. God help you if he gets hot. He gets hot, you might as well call it a series at that point. That's
and he's gonna, Joe.
And the thing is, he was only bad in this series because it wasn't Otani good.
Yeah.
He still had RBI singles and hits, and the thing is with Otani is he stresses the shit out of you, even when he's not hitting the way you want. He's that bottom of that taxes you. And I think that's the kind of secret there that not a lot of people aren't paying attention to. You got to be entrenched in the game to really notice it. Guys, that bottom of the lineup, they're stressing. You're stressing those pitchers more and more to like, ooh, please, Edmund, don't make this hit. Please, Lux, don't get – that stuff starts to weigh on you, and I think it happened. I think it happened eventually in the end to the Padres.
Yeah, and I also think if Otani's not going to go up against his childhood hero against any other team again, and I think that Shohei's got to get a little bit more killer in him and try to say, I want you to be proud of me because I'm going to kill you, right? I don't want to say that he didn't try to hit him, but I think that it was in his head a little bit. I really do believe so. And Darvish, look, I know Dodger fans hate Darvish because of what happened in 2017, but Darvish is an excellent pitcher. His repertoire, man, his arsenal, his bag, and what he can do, the range in which he can change speeds, the levels to different types of pitches. I think he has 3 different curveballs. I think he has a total of 9 different pitches with a range of 23 miles an hour in speed. And when he's locating, and to be honest with you, Darvish wasn't even on his best command tonight, and he was still dominant because on the 4 days rest, he wasn't as great in game 2. I mean, in game 5 as he was in game 2. I don't think we get those homers off him in game 2, right? I think that them going to Dylan Cease in game 4 and then them having to go to Darvish in game 5, I think that doomed them. Now, it sounds crazy because Darvish had a phenomenal game, but he got tagged twice because they saw him too much within a week. And eventually, he was going to throw a first pitch fastball, or eventually those guys were going to guess right, and 2 guys did. And that ball would have been out in any stadium, those 2 balls. And they guessed right. And I rarely saw him hit the center of the zone with a fastball in game 2. But not having, Muskrat, not having Musgrove and us, Musgrove is not their ace. He's not their ace. Believe it or not, Michael King has turned into their ace with Cease right there, right? Musgrove is not their ace. Glasnow is our ace. We didn't have him. We also had Yamamoto coming back on a 3-month break, right? We also have a Flaherty whose career first inning is trash, and then he settles down. And then you had Yamamoto, who's been fairly great against the rest of the league outside that Colorado game at the stadium that they had to walk off to win. But San Diego has had their way with him scoring. Now, I know he's won games, but they've had their way with him as far as running up the score. And if he had any slippage tonight, Joe, those 2 runs would not have been enough. They just would not have been enough. And as great and as dominant and as frustrating as hell to watch Darvish just mow us away, Yamamoto was even better. And I'm excited about what this guy's going to be and what he's going to bring. And you hit it on the head. When you put it into perspective and you see how it played out, if we won game 3 and game 4, we don't see this tonight. The Mets don't see this tonight. The baseball world doesn't see this tonight. This was his I'm here, bitches moment on the biggest stage. What he did in New York was great. It was fantastic. That was a regular season game. They all matter. But what he did tonight was stuff of that you will see on documentaries and highlights forever. Not a lot of guys go in there against a team like this, against a lineup like this. You can go up against teams that hit home runs. Plenty of teams do that. I can't remember a team that makes contact as much as they do and strikes out as less as they do. And he mowed them away, Joe.
And that's, part of the frustration from the opponent is you dealt and it still wasn't enough.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, he was incredible.
That's the part that I look at when it comes to greatness. They gave you the business and you still whooped them.
Yep.
That is heartbreaking for the opponent. It's just what it is. And it's not just baseball. It's any sport. You got teams, the 2002 Kings absolutely outplayed the Lakers that whole series.
Yeah.
And by the way, for those of you who keep harping on number 6, no one ever talks about Game 5. I think I've said this on the show a few times.
I have several times.
No one other than me and you and I, have talked about how horrible Game 5 was officiated.
That push off by Bibby at the end of the game to free himself that shot.
The push off, but there's one. It was the whole game in general.
Yeah, right.
But I will say that I will mention this one play at the end. Kobe has the ball, last second shot. Bobby Jackson pulls Kobe's jersey out of his shorts. No call. It was. I was screaming. How the hell is that not somebody pull a shirt out of somebody's shorts?
Yep.
Anyways.
Yeah.
The thing is, you played. It's a funny line. Played yourself.
There goes Lucky celebrating watching highlights. Sorry.
You played yourself and you did everything right. The Padres did everything right in terms of feeling. And those hits that they hit, hey, a little spin action, a little curve action kept those balls in. It's science. That's why they do all those trajectories and these velocities and all this stuff. They dealt, and it still didn't matter. And that is the killer. That is the killer in the end. And that was what was slowly killing them for the last 2 games. No matter what they did, no matter what whatever contact they made, it kept coming up short. And the Dodgers kept pouncing. They kept punching. They kept going. And the result right now is I am in full belief that the Dodgers know this better than what we're saying. And they're like, shit, we're going to pop off these champagnes and we're going to get ready to whoop some ass on Sunday. And I can't wait. Oh,
can't wait either. I may go to both those games. Monday's in the middle of the day, but
I'm probably going to a Yankee-Dodger game. If it's a Yankee-Dodger World Series, it's almost guaranteed I'm going to be going to one of those games. I don't care how much it costs.
Yeah, it's going to be a coins, but I think I am too. But I just can't wait for that. And to touch on something real quick, I hope kind of something similar, because also that 2000 Portland team also was mighty tough, right? And now, if not for a miraculous comeback in Game 7. But I often talk about that Game 5. We could do an episode on that, because I always tell people, go watch Game 5. Whenever they bring up Game 6 or whenever they pick up Donnie Outway, like, go watch Game 5, especially that final shot by Baby, because that was clearly like a push off, right? Secondly, and you're right about the jersey boom. That was just so blatant, right? But what I hope that happens, Joe, here, just to add to kind of this humble pie, the 2000 Blazers and the 2002 Kings were never the same after those series. I don't know if the Padres will be either. They're not going to pay all these guys. They're not going to pay all these guys. And
it's a great point that you made, because there is I'm not saying that they're gonna go into the dumps.
No, but to this level.
There's this. The Padres are not known as a baseball juggernaut, right? And I forgot his name. I'm embarrassed. I'm drawing a blank. The owner that died, or the GM that died.
I forgot his name too. The PS, the patch.
He did everything. he did everything in his power before he passed to try to make this team relevant. And I being a San Diego guy, I live in Temecula, but I moved my roots to sunny San Diego when I went to college, and I'd still be in San Diego if I could afford land. I wanted to buy land. I couldn't buy land even after the crash of 2008. So I moved up to Temecula where I could buy land, have a house somewhere where I don't have to basically look at my neighbor taking a leak next to me. So I have a lot of admiration for San Diego sports. I was upset that the Chargers left, but I understood why they told Spanos to go kick dirt, because that guy had fleeced them for decades. But I think AJ Preller, that's the new
GM. Yeah.
I think he's still going to keep things going. But you're right. There's going to be something now, especially if the Dodgers win, where there's always going to be that. Are these guys
might have been the chance?
Are these guys going to be the Lakers now to our Kings or the Blazers?
Now should have got us now.
And the thing is with the Kings and Blazers, that wasn't an isolated area, other than 2 times, and that was when the Lakers were kind of on the downhill. The 77 Western Conference Finals when Blazers beat them then, and then the I think 1992 when they got beat 3-1. Those really formidable Laker teams. So anytime the Portland Trailblazers have played the Lakers, even if they were somewhat even and in talent or maybe a little bit better, they've come up short the big stage. And of course, the Kings the same way. The Padres had a little bit of a lick in 2022, but they kind of blew it when they lost the Phillies. And to me, that's kind of like you got the hot chick and then you went flaccid when it mattered again, later. It doesn't matter if you got the hot chick at that point. You couldn't finish the job. And I'm not just picking on the Padres. I talk about the Lakers with that too. You get 0.4, but you couldn't close Detroit. Really? You ruined 0.4. You ruined that great win in Game 6 against San Antonio and that great series against Minnie. You ruined the awesome last-second shot in Game 2 with Kobe to lose to Detroit. So, yeah, you can't come down. You can't be flaccid in the end. It's got to mean something, meaning you got to win it all. I'm not as long as I beat Ohio State as a Michigan fan, I'm cool. No.
Yeah, no, I got you. We got Gerald. We got Gerald. Shout out to Gerald, man.
Yeah.
Make sure you guys
Gerald,
subscribe.
I'll be there, baby. I gotta be with my boy Jeff tonight.
make sure you guys subscribe. Lakers Fast Break, man.
Jeff, you're invited, by the way, if you want to come to the Lakers Fast Break show. We're going to be talking some details here a little bit more too.
Got you. Shout out Gerald here, man. Appreciate you pulling up, Gerald. He's like, well, where's Joe? Like he hijacking my co-host here, but appreciate you showing up, Gerald.
No. I was absolutely just, as soon as I saw your text, I'm like, yes.
I almost told you like the last game. I was gonna tell you you're gonna do the live, but I actually didn't do a I was gonna do a show yesterday, but I was so tired yesterday, and I needed to get my voice a day. My voice has just been, I'm surprised I had it tonight. Like it's been since the stadium last weekend and screaming and going in these games. My voice just wasn't. Wednesday, it just really started going off a cliff. So I needed to.
You want to hear a funny story? About a month or so ago, I was doing a Randy Macho Man Savage impression.
that'll do your voice.
Everyone was rolling, right? I was doing the cream of the crop. Ooh, yeah. A day later, like, what the? Am I getting sick? Really? Ah, damn it! And then all of a sudden, I'm waiting for the fever, right? And I'm like, why is my throat hurt? And I'm like, I got fever. And then it finally dawned on me, oh shit! Ah, I fucked up my voice.
The impression, yeah.
Doing the impression. So I was like, all right, I started drinking some milk a little bit. I don't even know what the fuck I was doing, but it took like 3 days to go away.
Yeah, mine is still. I had to turn on Wednesday. Like you could still kind of now. On Wednesday, I had to turn my mic all the way up. Like so I was like, I was barely talking like into the mic, but it was getting it right because I got incredible equipment. But like my voice, I don't want to say whispering, but like I was not pushing. Like I was trying to get through that show on Wednesday, and yesterday, like at work, I'm trying to do a training, and my voice is cracking, and I'm like, I can't do this, man. Like I can't do it, and I'm like, so let me try today. And then when I did a pretty good job, when he struck out Tatis, like my voice went up, and I'm like, okay, try to save it. And then when obviously when they hit those homers, and then at the end of the game, but my voice has been struggling since last Sunday, and so I was like, man, I got to go to the stadium again. So on Saturday at the stadium, I was screaming and talking so much. Manny actually acknowledged me. Like Manny actually looked at me, and I'll give them this. I will give Manny this. I don't hate or dislike Manny as much as most Dodger fans do. I don't. I think he's an incredible ball player. I also know some off the record stories about him of stuff he's done that's been pretty cool. You know, he has moments where he's a punk, probably more often than he should. But I was talking to him when he made that error. Shohei comes up, and there's just weird thing at the stadium now. It happened after the 50-50 game. I got to tell you this. I don't think I even told you this. Shohei, when he comes up now, there's like a moment of silence before excitement. It's really weird. People are like in a moment, and they're either pulling their phones out or whatever, and it gets really quiet. It just started after the 50-50 game. And it gets real quiet, and you got a moment to where literally the stadium can hear you if you're that guy, right? So I was that guy, and I would just say, Matt, thanks for the assist, Manny. Thanks for the assist, Manny. You still a Dodger at heart. And I was just going on. I was like, Fernando test positive. Like I was doing all kinds of like, and I was like, our best player is a GOAT. Your best player got caught on steroids. Fuck y'all, right? And I was saying it, and Manny turned around and he was laughing. And he turned around and he gave kind of like, you ever see Manny like in the middle of a bat when he kind of gives a nod to the pitcher? He does this often. And like, I think the best one was the one where dude got him at 104.7.
Yeah, it was Chapman.
Chapman got him. So he turns back at me, right in my side. And he looks and he kind of gives me a smirk. And he's like, all right. Yeah. Because he made the error. So it was his way of like, yeah, that was me, right? But there was that. And then like, so we heckled the hell out of Tatis. So that's why I'm like, I get why and the stuff that was I wasn't saying anything foul. Like there were dudes saying crazy stuff. And I was like, but back to the Shohei thing. After 50-50 game, I go to that game. I mistimed it by one game. I was pissed. I thought I had it, right? If not for him getting 3 jobs. Matter of fact, I was saying, you better not hit a third in this game. You better not, right? But then again, I was like, you know what? Nah, man, this is probably the greatest game of all time individual performance. Just let it rip. But anyways, we get there and he comes up, Joe. And when I tell you, you could hear a pin drop. It was so silent. And this is the part that tripped me out. He strikes out and he got applause. They clapped for him. And I was with Joe. Shout out to Coach Joe. I was with my boy Joe. And we're like, I'm like, what is Lucky's upset. I was like, what? My wife took his beer away. I was like, why are you cheering? Why are you cheering for him striking out? Like, but they were just so grateful to have witnessed him. I've never seen that. Never. And when I tell you, Joe, when you get to a game and it's a game that Yamamoto's pitching, or it's a game where Shohei's in the bullpen, the amount, what's the word I want to use? Because I don't want to get, I guess I will say the amount of foreigners, I will say.
It's electric.
But Joe, they're at the bullpen surrounded. None of them are drinking, but they're surrounding the bar. You can't get a drink. They're blocked off the whole bathroom entrance, so you can't take a leak. Can't get a drink. You can't do either end. You can't put it in. You can't get it out of you, right? Like, and they're crying, Joe. They're like emotional, and because they were that close to him, they got a picture of him. He looked over and tipped his cap. The emotion that they showed, and you kind of see now Shohei every time he steps up to the plate, the respect he pays, like the way he carries himself, the culture thing of it, right? When you see that, and that night just happened to be just there was a very heavy Asian demographic at that game that day, and the way they talked about this about the Korea series, about how it's quiet because they don't really get active during play and then after, and you got a feel of that day at the stadium. But when there was no one making noise, and then they cheered when he struck out. That's how you know you're witnessing a whole nother level of greatness, because they don't care what the result was. They just cared that they were there. And I'm like, this is different. And it's taking it took some getting used to that. But it is a whole different thing. So Shohei, I think there was almost, and maybe I'm wrong, I could very well be. I think there was something in him that he didn't fully unload or really lock in or try to damage Darvish like he could have. I don't want to take any credit away from Darvish, but I almost felt like there was some Shohei not wanting to show him up. I could be wrong about that, but I think he wanted to not get out as many times as he did, but I feel like he didn't want to ambush him. I don't know. It just felt different.
When you talk about heroes, because Darvish
Salute Search real quick. Salute Search. I see you, big brother. Appreciate you, man.
Darvish is his hero.
Yeah.
And respect in Japan is legendary.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't doubt that there's some element there for sure. You brought up an interesting point about fan interaction and the athlete or the actor or the performer. I was in San Francisco a few years back. It was, I think, 2021, 2022. Actually, I think it was 2022. Sorry. And I might have said something to you that I hung out with Will Clark and was in the box.
That guy's crazy. Yeah.
And Will Clark is every bit exactly how he is, and one of the few guys that you see on TV. He's exactly like, he's actually better in real life. And we got, my boy is tight with him. He's tight with Barry too. And I started to get to know Will Clark and kind of the circles there with the Giants. I was there for the whole weekend. The Dodgers were in town and they swept them that weekend. So I was kind of, giggling the whole time too, but was trying to be respectful. That last night, there was a fundraiser. Will Clark's son is autistic. Great, by the way. His son was great. His wife's a sweetheart. Daughter was a smoke show too, and sweet. And I'm in line, and you can see, mind you, folks, Will Clark retired in the late 90s. I was seeing kids that were 14 running up to Will Clark when we were walking together up to the elevator to go to the box.
Really?
Just in like, I'm like, dude, these kids weren't even close to being born to be this crazy with him. Now, fast forward to, they have this auction of baseballs, this, that, raffles, right? And you already got a sense of people just waiting in line to get into wherever they were having the little fundraiser thing. And people were just so eager to get in and just be around the Will Clarks and all these other people.
Wow. I wouldn't guess that.
Right?
I didn't know people would know who he was in today's era.
Oh, you could feel it. Like me, I don't look at anyone like that. I just don't. Yeah. My brain doesn't work that way. So I'm in there and I got a raffle. You walk in, you get a little raffle for free, then you can buy more. Me, I don't care about stuff. The less stuff I have, the better. I don't want stuff. I'm excited about being on the right end where the bullpen is doing their thing, on the right field of Oracle. So I'm trying to just watch the game and just chill and see guys pitching and whatever. And then all of a sudden I hear, 0-2-2, 0-2-2. Anyone, 0-2-2. Finally, like the fifth one, I'm like, why does she keep saying that? I'm like, oh shit, hold on. I'm looking at my thing. It's 0-2-2. Ironically, it's Will Clark's number too.
Yeah,
so
it is.
I go over there and sorry, hey.
I'm gonna clip that.
Right. So I get there and they give me a signed Will Clark ball. Like I could go get one right now, like 8 of them. I'm standing there and I hold the ball in my hand. I swear I'm not lying when I say this. I'm sitting there and I'm playing the pageant.
The wave.
Thank you. And I'm totally having fun with it too, by the way. I like that shit sometimes. Just, enjoy the moment, right? But at the same time, I'm like, what the fuck am I going to do with this thing? I don't fucking want it. This lady looks at me and she goes, "You're so lucky." I looked at her. Like, mom,
really?
Right? She looked like the prototypical mom, probably the first time she's been there, enjoying the moment. And I got the ball in my hand. I look at her, look at the ball, look at her, and I go, "You want it?" And she almost died.
Because you gave her because you said you'll give her
Her husband comes from the back, from behind me, and he does one of these things. I wish you were here because it looks better when I do it.
Yeah.
But he puts his hand on my shoulder. And I don't like people touching me usually. He puts his hand on my shoulder, and it was like that proud dad look.
Yeah.
And I was like,
that's funny.
Enjoy. Like I started kind of like, enjoy.
He put his hand.
Don't touch me. Have a good night.
Don't touch me.
Right, I won't get the fuck out of there. But it actually felt good. I'm not gonna lie. It felt good. She was happy. He was happy. The whole thing. But what it made me realize was I was just sitting there going, man, Jesus Christ. There's people out there, man. They live for this stuff. They live for this moment.
There was
and it's a story. Yeah, I'm sorry. It's a story, and I'm with. It was as soon as you told me that, I'm like, yeah, man. I saw it, man. I've seen it there, right? Like right there with my own eyes.
It's impactful because I think sometimes we take it for granted. And I had the pleasure of meeting Pete Rose a few times. I had the pleasure of talking to him a few times. And so when he passed, I felt like I had to do a show because like he was good to me. I don't know him. I couldn't pick up a phone and call him. I don't want to give that impression. But just knowing kind of people that I know. And I also have a friend of mine that's in the memorabilia business. And I used to go to Vegas a lot. I mean, a lot. And I liked there's a few bars I'd go to in the Forum Shops, Caesars, and a couple different spots, some hidden spots over there. And I had some people that you know worked at some spots that I get to hooked up on like some Nike shoes. I'd always pass through the Forum Shops. The first couple times I came across Pete Rose, he was whenever he was in town, he always did gigs at this sports memorabilia spot there. And from the first time we met, he was always like real cool with me. He was great to my wife, respectful. And because I kind of coincidentally ran into him like 5 or 6 times at events unplanned, he started remembering me, right? And then so we would talk, and I would talk to him a lot about like my grandpa, because my grandpa's like my sports hero in life, just generally overall hero. And you know, my grandpa would tell me all these stories of legends and all these things, and I go, my grandpa would always tell me that he never saw someone slide with a purpose the way you did. Your head first slide, you'd run over your mother to score at home. And we talked about the All-Star game, and he told me, he was like, you know what? I mean, I wasn't a kid at the time. He's like, you know what, kid? He goes, from the second I hit the ball, everything went black. I saw red. I don't remember if he said went black or saw red. I can't remember. And he was just like, everybody, everything, everybody was between me and my destination. And he was like, I don't know where I got it from. I don't know how it got in me, but my desire to play hard, it wasn't even necessarily, well, I don't want to say, he didn't say it wasn't to win, but he goes, my drive to just play harder than anyone else, I had no control over. And he was like, it was never personal. I never wanted to hurt anybody, but I was either going to lay you out or knock you out if you got in my way. And he was like, then I did both. He was like, and he was like, and he goes, you guys just saw what's on film. He goes, you should see me. You should have saw me in against my own teammates when we had interschool. Like, he goes, spring training, like interschool. Like, he goes, I've knocked out my own teammates. And he was like, and he was like, and I felt bad about it. After, not in the moment. I go, what'd you do after you knocked out a teammate? He goes, I kept running. he was like, I want to score. And the stories were just great. And he would say stuff. And I saw him say this joke a couple times since he passed on social media. And people would tell him, they were like, what would you bat today? He's like, oh, like 200. And he told me this joke a few times. So when I saw it, it kind of warmed my heart a little bit. He goes, what would you hit today? And he's like, 200. Like, why? Is pitching that much better? He's like, no, stupid, I'm 80. He's like, so rest in peace, Pete Rose. I know he was no saint. I know that he cheated the game to a point. But I also know all I can go based off is I didn't get to watch him play. I wish I could have. I didn't get to. I barely got to watch him manage. But outside of that, he was good to me. He was really cool. And it was a blessing to meet it'd be like, I don't want to put him in the same boat as Kareem, but meeting the all-time hit leader, being a baseball nerd that I am, you know, it was pretty cool. And to happen multiple times.
Again, it is my buddy Adam. That's how I met Will Clark. He met Will Clark and also Barry Bonds through his businesses. And my buddy Adam and I are best friends, and he was my best man at my wedding. I've known him for, you know, almost 30 years now, 27 years. And he's tight with Barry. Like, they're boys now. And Barry's a beast, by the way.
Yeah.
It's a little more laid back, still a man, awesome, cool dude, right? But Barry's intense. And I remember telling him about a year ago, I said, man, you and B are like, he calls him B. That's how tight he is, right? I said, you and B are tight now, huh? He's like, yeah, man, you know, it's what it is. And I'm not surprised either, because the way we roll, we're not looking at Barry to try to get anything, because everybody's trying to get something out of these guys, right?
Man, never. When I come across someone, it's just conversation.
Our egos are too big. Folks, the ego on TV here, it's big, right? Oh, you have no idea.
I don't
have no idea.
Yeah, we don't ask.
Right? Yeah. So again, there's a respect there from Barry and him, because he knows. I mean, these guys, they begged Adam, hey man, what can we do for you? He's like, dude, I don't need anything. Can we just chill? You know? And I told Adam, I said, dude, you're with the Michael Jordan of baseball, right?
Yeah,
like,
he is.
I mean, that's Michael Jordan, you know? So when you talk about greatness, you talk about Pete Rose, there's no doubt he's great. And as far as him being a bad guy, he wasn't a bad guy to you. He didn't hurt kids. He didn't hurt. He didn't beat up women. Sure, he was a womanizer, and his ex-wives or wives, probably, I don't know how many people he was with. He probably pissed them off. He probably pissed off a couple of dudes here and there. But hey, that's to me. You've heard me say it before. Look, as long as you aren't hurting children, you're not beating up women, and you're not murdering innocent people. Hey, who are we to say who's bad or good, really? But anyways, I think it's good that you had that experience. It's
great.
He doesn't know where he gets that. I could have sworn I saw him speak years ago about how there was a time where he didn't run out to first, and his dad got on him. Like,
maybe. I mean, who knows? Like it could be just like, it could have been a time in his life where, you know, he just, I guess what he said was just the contact in it of running people over. Like I don't know, but he said, I don't know where I got. I guess what was the term? I think he used something like the term of it was almost like he craved the collision more than he avoided it, kind of thing. I guess maybe he was talking about, he didn't know where he got that from, right? Of the
sometimes it happens like this, Jeff.
Yeah.
So there was a play in high school where the guard was pulling, and I was playing defensive end, and I don't remember why this happened, but I got under him pretty bad. He was my boy too, Justin. I got under him and I lifted him, and he fell right on his back, knocked the fucking shit out of him. He was like, it just happened. Like, it was, you're sitting there, you're looking for the quarterback. All of a sudden you see your boy coming at you at the guard pulling. And then all of a sudden I just said, I'm getting to the quarterback. I ended up literally lifting him up, and he fell on his back and knocked the wind out of him. After that, all I did the rest of my football time was try to fucking destroy somebody. I didn't care. I just wanted to kill somebody. And I had a hit in the All-Star game. Oh my God, nice guy too, Nick Gomes. I hope, he's doing well. Man, this motherfucker was 350, had a full ride to Oregon State. And man, woo! The adrenaline you get when you destroy, and I was 230 pounds. I was pretty, like, at the time I didn't know, but when I see pictures now, I was like, God damn, is that what I look like? And I took a guy that was legitimately 350. Like, he was big, and just watched him go horizontal, or I should say even with the ground. I helped him up too, because he was a good dude. I like Nick. But you get addicted to that, dude, and I think was addicted to it. Great.
That's what you said, because I love laying people out on screens in basketball, right? Like I would lay you out. All right. And so I get it. And again, it was a while ago. So I was trying to really not misquote him and use his words. But I believe when he told me they got it from, I think it was the craving collision, like of just not just, he wasn't going around you, he was going through you type of thing. The hustle thing, maybe, his pot. So I'm talking about just the collision portion of it. I noticed in the chat here, I think they're saying that Gerald may have shut down the stream for Lakers Fast Break. So if I'm holding you guys up on that, I don't want to hold you guys.
Don't worry, I'll take care of the boys tonight.
Okay.
This was a show that I actually in my head wanted to do, and when you hit me up, I was like, yes, because I think this is something that's likely going to have to continue.
Yeah.
And I think the production value right now with the blue, I'm wearing the shirt, you're wearing your gear. This thing looks like a damn ESPN show. I am right now. But
this was fun, and it helped.
Gerald knows how we roll here. And again, Gerald's been trying to get me to do other things for a while. I don't want to commit to anything unless I know for sure I can do it.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
In the summer, that needed to be shifted a little bit. I didn't really have enough time. But right now, things are starting to shift to where I'm not needed as much in certain areas. So I'm going to have a little more time to start dedicating to more stuff. So I would love to start doing the Dodgers show during this run, especially all the way to go to the championship. So for sure. And again, I'll take care of the boys on Lakers Fast Break. And you're invited tonight if you have the energy. Okay.
I'm gonna go spend a little time with the wife. I may pop in. So I'll definitely make sure you guys go subscribe to Lakers Fast Break and catch Joe later tonight. You guys, you've seen me on the show before. Joe has been on my show before. We're not on each other's show as much as we should be. Our schedules don't always line up, but I'm it's mostly my fault. I'm working on that. A lot of my shows are improv, like just okay, I'm going live. None of them are really scheduled. I've got to get better at that. That's kind of my thing, but I've got to get better at it. And when I do get better at that, like tonight just happened to work out. We were obviously a game we were both watching. I hit up Joe. He was available. We'll try to plan some stuff out and line some stuff up for sure. Because having Joe, me and Joe work very well together, and always have Gerald as well. So like the two shows are kind of like a natural fit. They've always been like massively supportive of me. I'm so like locked in that sometimes I forget to shout them out as much as I should. I need to get better at that. It's not intentional. Sometimes I just go, I get that tunnel vision. I'm just locked on my content.
It's not your job in a lot of ways. That's a privilege. That's a nice.
No, but I also like to reciprocate. I liked when someone looks out for you. I enjoy looking out. Even if they don't, there's certain.
Totally understand, but you do. I don't think you ever not. It's
okay. Yeah, just sometimes like I get locked in and I'm just like that, right? So, but no, I've got to get better in scheduling and doing this stuff. And yeah, especially with basketball, I feel like I've got 100 people almost any time. They're like, let me pull up. When it comes to baseball, because like you said, I think there's people that like watching it, but talking it is different. Talking baseball is different. And what I saw in this chat today, and you said it earlier, and I've been saying this for a while. I've got to build on this somehow because I think it's a theme that I'm seeing. I often said it. I heard you say it, and I saw it in the chat. Baseball was my first love. It wasn't basketball. Basketball became like my life, but baseball was my first love and was my first sport that I dreamed of playing. Right, and it was my first. You guys know me in NBA for CBA and cap and like all that. Baseball was my first one of learning all that, learning stats, not analytics, but stats, money, salaries, the business of it, a lot of it. I mastered that in basketball because I love doing it in baseball, but I'm actually a massive baseball guy, and baseball was my first love. Most of you guys found me from basketball, but I also love that I saw in the chat of people saying, Dante put it in there too, saying Jeff said at the beginning of the season he was going to convert us basketball guys over to baseball because I felt my style would work for it. For the casual baseball fans or those who didn't watch, I felt I could convert them, right? And I feel I did a pretty good job this year because I got a lot of basketball people talking baseball. And I'm actually more proud of that than probably anything I did with basketball because baseball is a massive passion of mine and I want it to get bigger and I want people to talk it more and I want people to learn it more. Because baseball is not as boring as you think when you know the game. When you know the game within the game, when you know the matchups, when you see 4 things switched in one instant, strictly off strategy, it is the best board game you will ever play, right? Like baseball is so intense. It's so incredible. And the more you learn about it, the better you appreciate it. And which is why someone like me and Joe could sit back and enjoy a classic 2-0 game where most people were hoping it was like a 10-9 game, right? But I almost would prefer this game because that's baseball. The strategy and the way these teams played, incredible. So I've had a lot of mocking of the Padres, but hats off to them. They had a great season. Their owner died. When it's between the lines, it's all fun and games. At the end of the day, they brought the best out of us. So shout out to them. And shout out to you guys. Shout out to Joe for being here, man. We will definitely do this more. I was hoping you'd say yes. I had a feeling you would. I had a feeling you would. But you never know, right? I don't know, So I'm glad we got to do this. We'll definitely do this some more. I'm glad we had to return to Search tonight. Hadn't seen Search around in a minute.
Search has been back, and my God, I can't wait for the Laker games now because Search is here.
Yeah, Search. You don't. I always appreciated Search, and I've always loved Search. Search was my only moderator for a long time. But he was planning his retirement, so we had put a couple people on. But outside of that, Search has always held me down. Search was, I think you guys found me because of Search. Search has been like pushing me before I was even pushing myself. You know what I mean?
Look, man,
so having him back is great.
It's important to say. I was fed up with the Lakers at the draft. I was done. You're not going to try to win? F you all. Because I have I have a disdain to the leadership on that team. They're just not the kind of people I want to be around. And guys like Xbox, Mark, guys like Bloodhound, all those guys, the regulars, they're hitting me up off air. Hey, Joe, come on, man. Like, and I've said this for years. I was an I'm still an actor, but I was entrenched in it for a while there. Where you
were an actor?
Yes, where I was.
Oh, that's great. Okay, that's more.
Yeah,
okay.
Where I was, I got my SAG eligibility. I had a chance to just kind of go after it in 11, but I'll tell you that story later.
Yeah.
Kind of shifting behind the camera so I can get better control over the career, right? And I'm getting close to getting back there again. Now, the thing I used to tell people, and I think Tina Turner understood this towards the end of her life. When you're a performer, because this whole story with Otani and people just being, you're not you anymore. You are at the service of these people. These people are dedicating their time, their money, their life, their energy to you. And if you don't really understand that, and I know this is not a money-making situation in terms of the grand scheme.
Yeah.
But this is how it starts, and it's organic. And I felt, man, I owe it to these people because they're asking me, Joe, we value your discussions. Please don't go. This is what it's about. It's about the audience is saying, whether you're an actor, whether you're an athlete, they're saying, whether you're a podcaster, they're saying, no, we want you here. And if they're going to say that, just like when I tell people, if somebody wants to work, find them a job. I don't care if you got to go sell pencils. Go get a bunch of pencils and get them to work, even if you don't know anything about pencil sales. We're in that. It's weird. It's this little hill that we're climbing. And the audience is building, and it's legitimate. It's not paid audience. It's not clickbait. It's, man, we're spending, God, look at all this time at 10 o'clock at night on the West Coast and late at night in the East Coast and all halfway across the world. Dude, we set the table, man. We gotta put the food down now. And this is where we're at. And because of that, I said, no. I told this to Joe. I said, Gerald, I'm usually a man of my word, but Jesus, I didn't know I was going to get a response like this. It was like, damn, all right. Jeff, you and I, this can't not happen more.
I know. And okay. last time we did a show was you and I on your channel. I randomly pulled up and we went for like an hour and a half. The response to that, like It is. I told you it's mostly my fault. I know. But like
it's not your fault. You have a life. You work. You have a wife. You got dogs. You got things going on. But
I do love my dog.
we're gonna get enough resource. That's what I'm building everything behind this with. As soon as I get the resource, it's gonna be our showtime as well.
Yeah. I mean, I want to get to the super chat real quick. Xbox Game Pass, appreciate you. Thank you so much for your super chat. He said, thanks for the coverage, Double J's. Appreciate you. Thank you guys for being here. You guys, you know what I always say. It's not about, I mean, obviously, thank you for the super chat. But to me, the most important thing is you guys is your time. Time is valuable. You choose to spend it with us. And Search, again, I see you on your, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for being back. I loved having you last season. Love having you back again. But Search, you are entitled to a break. I got burned out myself. I took 2 months off of covering basketball. I've been locked in on baseball. I barely started getting back to the swinging thing of basketball. The best thing about it is I took 2 months off for covering the Lakers and I missed nothing. So I'm good. but outside of that, I needed a break. There was a lot of toxic nature around the Lakers last year from multiple different reasons. And I enjoyed the break away from that. And really, because of my talking about baseball, I made the commitment early in the season to do more baseball. I wasn't able to honor it because of the Lakers. So when I had my chance to take my shot at baseball and try to get into that lane and get my name in that space, I seized the opportunity. So now I'm back with basketball, but I'm going to be more heavy baseball until that season ends, and then I'll go full-fledged basketball. But I'm really, really trying to get back on track with it, back in the swing of things. EPJ Sports Night, I think you guys are really going to like. It's going to be essentially a sports talk radio show. I'm going to take call-ins. I'm going to have segments. We're not just going to be baseball or basketball. It's going to be everything. And that's kind of what the channel is going to shift to. And it's going to be a nighttime show. And there'll be call-ins. I'll have co-hosts. I'll have segments. I'll have Joe when he's available. We'll have different crews on here, different, like I said, it will be a show that I think the community's, not just the chat community, but I think the creator community. I think it's going to be something that people are going to love, because I think a lot of people who cover basketball, I think this will be an avenue. Like Joe can come talk about his Steelers for the football segment. He can talk about NFL. Other guys, same thing, right? And that's what I'm going to build. And EPJ Sports Night is pretty much ready to go. But again, my fault. I just need to rip the Band-Aid off it and just do it. Just, cut through the tape already. But I think that's a show that everyone's going to really like. And I'm going to like it because it's not going to be me by myself. And for the most of my shows, I'm by myself. And a lot of that's by design, because I kind of just press record and go. And, but I got a lot of brothers in this space, Joe being one of them. I got a lot of people who could actually make it even better for the community, right? And getting other people's opinions and other people's takes, and not just me go on by myself for an hour and a half. So I'm looking forward to that. Definitely happy Search is back. Happily everyone's back. And I'm happy I'm back with basketball. I love basketball. Just needed a break. And baseball, I told you guys in December, I told you guys at 3 a.m. game one, when I woke up to do that stream in Korea, because the chat hustled me the night before to do it. I told you this is going to be one of the most special baseball seasons we've ever seen. And it's going to be one of the greatest playoffs we've ever seen. And I think it is. So this is fun. I love it. And yeah, Joe, we're going to continue to build this out. And for us, for them, for everybody, because this is a different type of sports talk. Not just saying you and I'm just saying this type of sports talk. It is very, very organic. And that's what probably makes it the best.
Well, I think you and I have the potential possibly being the new age Mike and Mad Dog. I think that's ultimately what I'd want to do, especially if it's Dodger related. Especially with the Shohei dynasty about to come.
Yeah, he's gonna feed families, man. He's gonna feed families.
Should the Dodgers win this World Series in the fashion that they've started already, there's going to be a Otani dynasty with the Dodgers that's coming. Because
I've been preparing for this. For 2 years.
I did not. It was like the Kevin Garnett chase. If for some reason I wasn't invested in the chase, being online and clicking F5 the whole time, seeing what's going on, until the Toronto story came out. It was so asinine. I started laughing. I'm like, what the fuck? He's on a plane to Toronto.
Yeah, that one was.
And I was sitting there going, and if you see some of the videos on YouTube with all these sad people.
Yeah. oh my God. I was watching them live. I was. Sorry. Go ahead. I've got incredible stories on that. Oh my God. I legit felt bad for them. Like they were popping bottles, Joe. Like.
I don't know, man. I can't. I didn't know what to say. I was in shock.
What are you
saw
my stream after that happened? If you saw my stream after that, oh my God, I went. Yep, sorry, but oh my God.
No, go ahead. I'm
the Blue Jays today, guys, and you know what? Really cool guys. Hog too. I bugged him so much that he finally decided to go live. But outside of that, the Blue Jay guys, there was two groups of them, and they were. I told them, and they were cool, but they were kind of. I told them, my guys, it's not happening, bro. There's no way in hell this is real. There's no way. And I was like, no major baseball person is reporting this. Like none of the top tier guys. And I'm like, it's not happening, bro. And then when it got revoked, and I had not on Otani. I've got some pretty, and if you guys go back and listen to my streams during free agency, you'll see I am not playing. That's kind of how I took off in baseball because I didn't, this is going to sound like, obviously I didn't break the news, but I had said 2 hours before that the Yamamoto was done. 2 hours before it happened because I knew it was.
I remember that.
Yeah. And I also said when it leaked about him going to SoFi with Shohei to the Rams game, I shut it down because I know that wasn't true. And then people started like, wait a minute, what the hell? The Glassnow deal. I got called out by foul territory. I was right. And I was like, and then the fourth one, the bit outside of that was Kiké Hernandez. And I've got an excellent baseball plug. But most of the stuff that I get is my own instinct and my own digging, and they either confirm or deny. They don't just call me when they come up on something. But outside of that, that's how I know. The Dodgers almost got Snell twice. And I think there's a pretty good chance they're going to go heavy after him again this offseason. But that's a story for another day. What I'm saying is I've got some people in basketball. I've got some good people in basketball. But the one I got in baseball is incredible. So when that happened, people started like, okay, this guy. But then I had to fall back because I didn't want people starting to think I'm a newsbreaker because I'm not. I'm not at all. I will never be. But that kind of took off and it got it going. And then I had like that stream I did where I had like, I never had so many people watching at the same time from multiple different, and it just went, right? So I've got to lock in on it. But anyways, I think that you hit it on the head there though, Joe, the Shohei dynasty and what's coming. Like Shohei's going to feed families. And when you got kind of the talent and skill set of knowing the game like you and I have, not only knowing it, but being able to talk it. And not only knowing it and talking it, but being able to translate it to a chat, go back and forth, balance all these things. It's going to be real fun. And you tie in basketball and tie in this other stuff. It's going to be real fun, you know? But Search, real quick. Yeah, you're right. The burnout. I got burned out last year. Like I'm telling you, so I get it. I totally get it. That's why I took my break. But I'm fully recharged now, baby. I'm ready to go. I'm absolutely ready to go. That was long-winded, Joe. I apologize, but
no, it's a. The audience doesn't know. There's a shift happening right now in the sports commentary world, and the shift has somewhat downgraded its talent in hopes of creating opportunity. And I'm trying to be clear and concise and quick with my conversation because I don't want to segue into something else. But the bottom line is there's a talent deficiency in our industry of sports commentating. And the reason why that is because there's two reasons. Number one, the talent pool is not coming from the right place. And then on top of that, they don't want to pay a lot of money for it. Economy reasons, whatever. A lot of the big companies are reeling right now because all the greedy executives, all they care about, just like they've always cared about, is they want stock up and bonuses up, and at the behest of
It's all
little people getting pushed down. So when you're not controlled by those types, and you run your own gig. So I'm saying own my own gig. That's what I own. I own my own gig too. You run your own operation.
Why he runs his own turf, yo.
When you run your own operation, you don't have to worry. Yeah, and if you're not in debt, you don't worry about down times and slow times. It sucks. You regret not maybe adding more to the marketing campaign and stuff like that, which I did this last year. But it comes back. It eventually comes back because your reputation sometimes precedes you, and people hear about you. You start getting more calls, blah blah blah. So now here we are. Now there's a competition thing in this thing too. We're still at the mercy of the YouTube, the Google, but they only care about money. They don't care about sitting here and pointing fingers and telling you who to go talk to and who to hang out with and who to look at and who not to look at. Like none of that's going on here.
Yeah,
because that wouldn't work for me. I tell you to go get bent, and then you really insisted that no one really bothers me, so I'm just being over dramatic on that. But I'm telling you right now, Jeff, you and I, Gerald, Search, and the crew, the people, we can run this thing here in the next few years, and we can run it real. And we'll dust everyone in our way. I just got to get more resource in this. We get more resource in this, and we get a little name out there, then this thing's gonna roll down like an avalanche. Now, there is some controversy attached to my end. You're a little bit more controlled, a little bit more accommodating. Me, I can do that, but there are times where I gotta turn on the Tony Soprano.
I got it too.
I know you have it.
Yeah,
I know you have it, but you have it like my buddy Jordan has it. He's like smooth. And
you won't see it coming with me.
All of a sudden, a firecracker drops, and then boom.
Yeah.
Me, my firecrackers are lined up every 10 yards.
Mm-hmm.
That's just kind of. But then again, the dynamic is great.
Yeah.
It's great.
I'm a peaceful person by nature. I'm a patient person by nature. I am a put out a fire before I start it. Sometimes people get that twisted and that kindness for weakness thing. But like Kiké, waiting for the switch to be on type thing. But yeah, I don't really show it. But it's probably because I spent most of my first half of my life trying to hide it, trying to bury it, because I showed it too much. So now I'm kind of a point where that guy doesn't really come out unless someone pulls it out. I don't let him out the cage. He has to be let out. Someone has to open the cage for me. And when that happens, it's very hard for me to get that guy back in the cage, which is why I don't like to let him out. So, but at the same time, I've gotten very good at, in my older age here, in my maturity, and in life, and the lessons I've learned, and some things you can't take back, right? So I've gotten pretty good at it. But in business, in this space, you're right. Like me, things will be thrown my direction, and I just let it roll off. Like people taking shots at me, people sneak this and whatever it is. I just, to me, 100% about the content. That's all I care about. So for the most part, now I'm down for a good debate, a good trash talking session with the best of them. But to me, I don't really like to get involved with that, with people who can only dish it but not take it. I like, if you're a dish it can't take it guy, I'm probably going to be like, going to excuse myself, right? Because it's not going to go anywhere, right? Like it's just not going to work. If you're joking back and forth and you're playing, that's really where it's at, right? What was going on?
The thing is, so I think I might have talked to you about this before. I can't remember if it was you listening on the Lakers Fast Break or what, but everyone has that I came from this area story.
yeah. Area don't matter. Yeah.
Right. So I had a conversation that was a little kind of not serious, but it was there. I kind of had to drop the hammer a little bit, but it wasn't going to go that route. But I have a different history. I grew up with, and I didn't grow up with any money. I was a middle-class kid, nice area. Everything was good, safe neighborhood. And yeah, we had a couple of hooligans here and there, but overall it was good. It was good upbringing, safe and good family life. It's funny. My friends and my family expected success. I was never told, "Oh, you're going to suck. You'll never make it." That's never happened to me. If somebody said it, they said it without my knowledge.
Yeah.
It was more, it was more of like, why didn't Joe buy a house at 25 versus 30? Discussions like that kind of stuff, if anything. And the reason why is I moved to Southern California. If I moved to Idaho and
Midwest, you'd have 3 houses.
Bought a house in 99, right? But anyways, the point is, I had a discussion with someone, and I said it's very hard to have these discussions because I don't want to come off like a tough guy. Okay, there's a bragger to it. I don't want to do that, but at some point it draws you out because you have to make a point. Mm-hmm. So I said this to this guy. I said, listen, I don't give a shit where you come from. I don't care if you came from the jungle. I don't care if you came from Hell's Kitchen. I don't care if you came from the Venezuela jail. I said, I came from a loving family in a good neighborhood, went to good public schools, went to college, got a degree, got a job, found the woman, got the house. I got everything. I got the American dream. And I'll still whoop your ass.
I'm thinking of the 8 Mile one, man. I'm thinking of the 8 Mile line. What's that one? And Joe lived at home with both parents. And both Joe's parents had a real good man. Yeah, no.
The point is, it's like everybody gets manipulated into this. You got to come hard.
Yeah, no. You know what's funny, Joe? One of the most dangerous, ruthless, I'm talking like you wouldn't want to mess with guys I ever met in my life came from one of the most privileged places I've ever seen. And he was not to be played with, and people learned very fast when they tried to play with him. And he had a very good life. But at the end of the day, he had this tick where it was like, my life is good, but I can make yours a lot worse. You know what I mean? Type of mentality. But yeah, that's all. But yeah, you're right. The whole where I come from thing, I know a lot of people that came from, because, I worked with kids a lot when I was, so I know a lot of kids that came from really rough areas that I'm happy they were soft. They were weak. They weren't looking for the fights. They wanted to go to school and get out. Right? They were never looking for a fight. If they got into a fight, they'd be over with. They wanted out of where they came from, and they used their mind to do it. And I met some very people that came from those areas that would harm you and your entire family. But just because someone is from a particular place doesn't mean that they fit the stereotype or the narrative of that place. And sometimes it's those guys or girls, whatever, that like to throw that out there as a deterrent. And when the person doesn't scare them, then they're done, because they're used to that getting some people to go away, right? And then once you fire that shot and you miss, you're done, right? Because no one, when it's that moment, no one cares where you're from. It's where your fists land, right? It really comes down to it. But anyways, yeah, you're right, and that's what it is. And when that's in real life, when you add the internet, oh God, that's why I say I just really, for the most part, don't entertain it. And Search has always been a good guy of just like sweeping those dudes up out of there, right? And to be honest with you, half the time I don't even see it.
The guys that come in and say certain things, we've been pretty good at diffusing it because we attack it right away. When you come and say, "Oh, you're just a bunch of haters," the first question is why, folks. It's. I went through we had some good shows towards after the draft. I said, you want to come at me with something. You got to come at me with knowledge. And if you got the knowledge, then you got to come on the show. There were two guys I remember about 3 years ago when I first started doing this that sent the tweets to Gerald and said, this guy's a whatever. We wrote him back and said, come on to the show and tell me what's up. Because I was criticizing LeBron. And at that time, anytime you criticized LeBron, there was a racial undertone towards it. And I'm not going to have that argument with you.
Yeah, no, it's not. Yeah.
I'm going to let you talk. I want to know why you think that. Answer me. I'm criticizing LeBron James and his stupid comments. If you're taking that as I'm on some agenda.
I mean, you love Michael Jordan and love Kobe Bryant, so how could it be? You know what I mean? Yeah, but that they don't know how to really. But you're right, they don't really know how to. It's always the guys that can't break down the game or can't really have an educated conversation on their stance, so they choose that type of path, right? And real quick, because I saw this comment a couple of times, that is not a VR headset in the background back there. That's actually the box of these headphones. I don't have a VR. I don't do any type of. I can't remember the last time I played a video game, let alone owned anything related to a video game. No, most of that you see back there, actually, all of that. This is kind of actually embarrassing. Actually, all of that back there is audio equipment. All of it.
Embarrassing.
Because I'm an audio nerd, right? No, I'm just saying. I'm joking. All of it. Multiple. I'm set up for like a podcast apocalypse. Like if the world ended or something, I could record. Like I have a whole network here. But so multiple mics, multiple headphones, multiple mixers, multiple wireless mics, multiple of things back there on that shelf. And for some reason, my wife has decided to wiggle some things in there, some glass, like, you know, those things you have at parties where you fill the pitcher up, and that's somehow made its way there. And there's some like random stuff, which I probably need to speak to her about, because she's messing up my backdrop here, probably trolling me and seeing how long it took me to notice. But no, that is not a VR headset. Those are these Rode headphones right here. So just wanted to clear that up because I saw that a couple times. Sorry, Joe.
Hey, look, this is your show. I'm here.
My ADD kicked in on me.
I'm here to bounce off your.
Oh my God! Look at this.
It's the thing was with the VRs. The thing with the VRs is your face turns into the sun.
I've never used one. Like
I used it for 5 minutes. I'm like, my face is gonna melt off. I don't know. Cool. Wear that shit.
Oh my God!
Stay where? I'm not leaving anywhere. I didn't say anything. What did I say?
I can't get the picture. I can't get the picture of Gerald staring at the screen now.
Oh man, look, I the thing with Gerald is I make that guy's life sometimes just a pain, just because I'm a ball breaker. But it's good TV, especially when there's a hint of anything outside the discussion. If you even say Jesus, even as a noun, oh, I'm like, what?
Searches.
When have I joined my church? When have I ever? I've never said anything like that. I'm using it. Nuts.
Oh man.
Joe got damaged from VR midget porn.
Midget porn. Well,
hey, look.
Leave the little people alone, man.
Look, man.
Leave Ronnie James alone, man.
Oh man.
Man.
People have their kinks, don't they? Look, if I've seen it in very small amounts, because I feel bad. I'm sorry, I can't watch that shit, man. It looks like a kid.
You know, that
looks really bad.
No pun intended.
Don't watch that stuff. Come on.
Yeah, it's bad for everything.
Ugh.
It's bad for everything. That's why you got to. I always tell everyone, get yourself a good woman. Oh man, that killed.
You know what sucks? You know what sucks about that, Jeff? And what sucks about it is people can't even find one, man. I had two.
Yeah. I'll tell you this though.
I had two at the same time. I had to pick one.
Oh, see, that's actually.
And
that's
one
actually
got hurt. It
none.
fucking sucked.
Yeah, that's actually harder than having none.
Yeah.
The funny part. This has to be, without the shadow of a doubt, probably the worst era to be single in, right? So my friends that are single, Oh my God. I need to bring them. I need to have another channel just for them. I'm living through them in this life, right? And I'm just like, oh my God. And they'll be like, oh, hook me up with something. I would never vouch for you. Like most of my friends, we all have those friends that like, if we met them today, we would not be friends. But because we've known them for 20 years, they're just part of us, right? I got this one friend. I'm like, if I didn't know you since we were in like high school or middle school, I would take you outside and like send you off to the pasture. Like I would save this world from you and you from this world. Like you, I'm like, but because we've like, you know, and I'm like, we would never be friends if we met today. Never. Like, but it is what it is, right? We all got that. We've all got that, you know, my crew is, there's some great dudes in my crew, some cool dudes in my crew, and even the ones that I'm like, oh my God, you drive me nuts. I got love for them, but God bless them, man, because they're just. I tell them this all the time, man. You just man. You just
most of my buddies couldn't get chicks to save their lives. It was hard, but they married well. They married well in the end. All of them married well in the end.
But these dudes don't have a problem with finding women. None. Like none. The problem is they have too many women, right? Some of them are finally grew out of it, but way late. Like I like one didn't even have his first serious girlfriend until he was like 35. Like he wouldn't do it. And then like he had plenty of women, but he wouldn't be serious, right? And then you get in that situation where, you know, he brings them all around. I'm like, bro, like some of them start looking alike. And I'm like, then you can't even say their name because you don't want to do it. So I have to like come up with a nickname for that day. Like these stories are crazy. I had a system that I would use with this, right? And oh man, that's a whole nother that's a whole other topic. A whole other story.
Well, that's at least that's he knows what he wants and he's
yeah. I mean, with him, he didn't lie about it. But it's like I had one that never lied about anything, which is why he wouldn't. And I had one that lied about everything. And it was like they were an identical situation except one told the truth and one didn't. And when you watch, I always call them two in the wild. When I go out with them and watch them both hunt, which I would say, right? It was like the approach was always so different. To the point where it worked out when one struck out, the other didn't, because they were so polar opposites. So they would go to each other and they had a system, and it was almost like card counting. And they would go, and when one struck out, they'd be like, you on deck, basically telling what pitch is coming, right? And like just fish in a barrel, man. And it worked every time. And I'm sitting there like these poor, and I can't say nothing, right? I'm just like, oh man. But it was funny because if one struck out, the other bagged it. It just was almost a perfect system because they were polar opposites. And the one that was like, hell no to that one would be looking for the other one immediately because of that one. And that's why they always went out together. Like it was a perfect system. They were like hustlers, but you know, it was crazy. But anyways,
it's a better story than the story of the last 3 years with a lot of my friends. It's been a epidemic of divorces. I had no friends divorced until 2021, and it came in a huge wave.
I actually, it's weird now you say that. That's actually
it was a
pandemic, right? People were home too much.
All initiated by the women. So I don't know if there was midlife crisis moment for them. So there was 4. One of them happens to be a friend of mine who's a woman. She shouldn't have married the guy in general. I'll tell you off air about why. Yeah. I don't want to say it in public here. But the other 3, one is my buddy down the street. I'm not really close with him, but he's a buddy of mine. His wife is my wife said something. She's like, I didn't get a good vibe from her. My wife doesn't get a good vibe from you. Something's off about you. And so that's a second divorce that's coming. My buddy Mike, his wife, that's a story that I can tell you about that one. And then the one that was kind of a surprise was my buddy Jason, who's a huge Dodger fan. I'll have him chime in every now and then here, say what's up. He almost died of a heart attack.
Damn.
And his wife was like there and taking care of him, all that. And all of a sudden, a year later, she wants a divorce. I was like, what? And then I ended up finding out all the shit that was going on. I was like, what the
People surprise you, man. It's all, you know, it's funny. You ever seen like the one that you thought was like the perfect couple, the perfect situation, and then you find out later? I've seen that so many times, and the ones that I thought were just hot messes and wouldn't last, figured it out. And that's why there's no real you don't really know. And that's why I'm very aware when it comes like to my marriage. Like I'm very aware of what my role is, what I need to do, what she needs from me, supportive, constructive criticism, everything. Like we are a true team. Like it takes a very patient woman to deal with a sports fanatic as is, but then a sports fanatic that wants to do content creation. And so finding that balance of, okay, I'm gonna do my pregame, I'm gonna do this. Then she gets home, we're gonna go walk the dog for 3 miles, talk about whatever. Like it's always about finding that sacrifice, making it that work. Because it's very easy what we do to just lock in and forget that we have anyone for 6 hours, right? The game, the this, that. So for me, being growing up the son of a truck driver, the nephew of a truck driver, the grandson of a truck driver, the cousin of a truck driver, I saw my whole life what that did to the women in my family. Not that they were bad men. It just, I saw they went at things alone all the time, not financially, but just my mom having to deal with me her whole life by herself, essentially. God bless her, right? So my thing was like, I always made sure that no matter what I did for a living, that I was present, right? And I always go out of my way to stick to that. So that's why when you messaged me yesterday, I was like, I'm walking the dog.
I get it. I'm fortunate that my wife is just as busy as I am.
That's a good thing too. Yeah, that's a good thing too.
Just as busy as I am. I mean, their schedules have kind of gotten a little bit easier to manipulate versus when they were dancing 5 hours a night. But if you look at my daughters, they're in phenomenal shape. They eat anything and everything, yet they look like they don't eat. So they're constantly
the metabolism, man.
Metabolism is there. I was again when I back when I was their age, I didn't think I was a certain way, but I ended up looking at pictures now and I was like, God, I didn't know it looked like that. It's that dysmorphia. That shit's real, by the way. You think it's not. You think you're not. You're not that guy or that girl, but that shit sneaks up on you sometimes. You got to be careful. But the thing with the relationship thing, the only thing that could end my marriage is infidelity by me. I don't. My wife isn't not that. She's not that kind of person. And I say that because it's a compliment to the fact that it would have to be something that drastic because we handle money together very well. We live under the same roof very well. We've had a couple things happen here and there, and it doesn't affect anything. Like we're not affected by stuff that I think affect others. Some women out there want their husbands with them all the time, or they kind of have a little bit of a leash on them. My wife knew very, very well, way before, that you can't cage a lion.
Yeah.
The benefit
I'm a
for
whole
her.
handful. Like everyone in my life knows this about me. Yeah.
So, and she knows that she's not stupid. And I knew that she was perfect for me because she is patient. She is nice, which is the balance I need. If I married anybody like me, I would have thrown them out of a window. Or I would have never.
Yeah.
Number one, by the way, that's an exaggerated joke, folks. I'm not throwing women out of windows.
My wife may have thrown me out the window.
That's okay.
My wife's
the dynamic that matters the most, and this is where the little things can make a difference, right? So those things that I just told you about my wife and why it works, and then the other thing is my wife struggles when I'm not home. She can't. When I'm home, I mean, she has the stay alarm on when I'm not there. We have the little latch, the hotel latch in the front door. She still can't sleep. When I'm home, sleeps like a baby. And that's when you know you got it. You go in your kids' rooms, you don't hear a peep. They're loved. That silent love. Your wife is comfortable. And my wife has to deal with other children. She's an occupational therapist. She has to take care of a lot of meetings and stuff like that, and also take care of autistic kids and fine motor skill issue things. And you have to deal with their parents. Parents are, a lot of times they're in denial about their kids being sick, or they're stressed, their kid is erratic. You know, they're all through the spectrums. And I have to sometimes sit her down when she's frustrated, and I say, look, I know you're frustrated. I know you want to vent. Go ahead, do your thing. But at the same time, remember, a lot of these parents, and I know a lot of it is their fault too, but their kids are sick. They're sick, you know, understand that we're not sick. Our kids aren't sick. God, thank you. And, you know, use that as your fuel. Use that as the balance. And that's what makes it work, is sometimes you sit down and when things get serious. And, you know, my parents were crazy too. They're much crazier than my wife and myself. But man, there was those moments where I would walk out to the garage to go get something from the fridge when they were still here. God bless their souls. They'd be sitting on the leather couches I didn't even see them. They're behind the car. And they'd be sitting in those black leather seats that I remember I had from my buddy who moved out of town, and I was going to just sell it for them. And they ended up being these comfortable couches for 2 years. They sat there and I heard a voice, and I'd go over there, and they're just sitting there, just having a quiet, just normal conversation. And in the end, all the craziness, all the nonsense, the stuff that doesn't matter, you get those moments, and that's what it's about.
Yeah.
Sitting down and just like you, go walk the dog. Hey, you know, it's kind of cool how this tree is growing, you know, kind of looks cool with the bloom, like this stuff that doesn't matter. And with my friends on the phone, you know, they'll call, we'll talk about nothing.
Oh yeah. I get on, like, we'll talk for like 2 hours. Like, what do we just laughing half the time?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just,
I highly recommend just talk about nothing sometimes.
Yeah.
It has to matter. And to coincide that with sports, oh, Joe, you're taking this too seriously. I haven't watched sports. Who gives a shit about them? Like, after a while, you're not going to give a shit about anything. It's nice to give a shit about stuff sometimes. It doesn't have to matter all the time. You don't have to make money from it. You don't have to have this something that, like, it's a selfish way that we've been programmed to think. And what happens when you do that, look at tonight. What is that feeling like tonight? The feeling tonight is what it's about. The euphoria of something that you really don't have control over. But
Nothing.
Man, the benefit of your mind and soul. The competition. It's about the competition. I'm addicted to winning, and I'm addicted to competition. And I can't play in the majors. I can't play in the NFL. And I can't play in the NBA. So I gotta vicariously live through this. And it does help. It has given me a lot of joy. And folks, it doesn't always have to mean something has to come your way. There's enough stuff every day that does that. Work, whatever. Like, enjoy the stuff that doesn't matter sometimes.
Yeah. Nope. On that note, he's absolutely right, by the way. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you guys...
We do this every time, 3 hours later.
Yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed this this Dodger victory tonight, man. This was one of the greatest series I've ever watched. One of my proudest moments as a Dodger fan. It really was. And Joe, 2021, I know we lost that, and I don't want to. When we beat the Giants in 2021, that series was dangerous. And when Scherzer came in and we won that, I remember, but this one is even bigger and better. When we came back 3-1 against Atlanta, but this one might be the biggest one up there in my lifetime. And like I said, I'm going to enjoy this tonight. Probably the morning tomorrow when I first start talking to people, but then focus on the Mets and get on that. But this was outstanding, man. This was
2021. You've probably noticed I haven't talked a lot about 2021. After game one, I think it was Albies had the winning run for game one.
Yeah.
I remember when he scored on that, I was like, dude, these guys are spent.
Yeah.
I knew they were going to lose the series. They were
so good that year too. Yeah,
they were good, but man, that division run,
that division race,
oof,
and then the one game against the Cardinals, and then that one. Yeah, you're right. They were spent.
They were spent.
I was spent. That division, we could every time we won, the Giants won. Like it was just they wouldn't leave us alone that year. It was
the only reason why last year bothered me again. If he had put out,
yeah.
I mean, you're not going to put out Lynn. Lynn was a home run thrower, right?
And he did.
If you put Bobby out there and you still got shellacked, I probably wouldn't have been upset. But the fact that he went with Kershaw, it just brought back that last year, and I was very upset. 2021 was just they just were done. 22 was into 19. That was those were the burners. 106 wins, 111 wins. I had no doubt and then of course Houston ended up going to the freaking World Series.
Mine was 2019 and 2019 and 22. Those were my two. I was at Game 5 in 2019. I was at that game, and I went to Game 1 and 2 in 2022. Obviously, Game 3 and 4 was at Petco. I went to both home games in that series. I went to every home game in 2019. So I started saying I didn't let myself go to every game this time. Like I did. I had tickets on Sunday, but something happened and I couldn't go. I had tickets to tonight, and I wanted to watch it at home. Sounds weird, but my last two experiences in a similar situation ended in L's, and I just was like, I want to be home. like because I may slap someone if I'm my boys were going to the bar, everyone was my parents went to the bar, they're calling, everyone's calling, like it was me and Lucky. My wife got home about halfway through, but it was me and Lucky, and that's just the way I preferred it tonight. And I had a feeling one way or another we were witnessing history, and I was abnormally nervous. And I didn't sit down the entire night until I did the show. The beginning of the show, I was standing up. My mic could go damn near to the roof, right? I was standing up. I still couldn't settle down. I've reached that now. So with the help of
I was on the balcony of I was on the balcony of my boys' condo for Game 4 in San Diego. You could see the stadium from there. I was from the TV and from. It's far away, but you can still see.
Yeah. There's a hotel I stay at where my window I can see.
Yeah. I was in my Jerry West mode where I was so.
Yeah, that's exactly what I use that same analogy.
So nervous that I was watching on TV, watching on the screen, and then trying to make conversation with someone to ease my nerves. So Anderson's dealing. I'm crossing my life to hope that they can just get out of here. I said, if they could just fucking win this game, they'll win in LA, and then it just collapsed. And that was, again, the collapse always follows it seemed like every time there's a collapse, it's always a decision that Roberts made just before collapse, right? That's where that all started. If it was one of those things where let's say today, if he's dealing, and all of a sudden Triton, gets I don't know, Tatis on board, and then all of a sudden
something happens.
Jerkson hits a 2-run homer. I'm not blaming Roberts for that. You going with Triton. Triton's a beast. So it's just your body, your mind, your feelings. In the end, it's an easy explanation, and to put it to rest is. I love competition. I love the competition of sports. I love it at the highest level. I love greatness. That's why I don't like parody. I like greatness. As much as I hated the Patriots, their greatness is a format that I've used. Tom Brady is a format that I use.
I love beating them twice. My team has said that.
There's always one, Jeff. There's always one.
My team has been great twice in 20 years.
There's always one, no matter who it is. And you probably know this better than anybody. What was it in the The NFC East in the 80s, it was like a carousel. Was it the Giants couldn't beat the Eagles, the Washington couldn't beat the Giants? Like I can't remember the category.
I from the 80s, I can't.
So Baltimore always gave the Patriots fits, right? But they beat the Steelers all the time.
Yeah.
Yet the Steelers always seem to beat the Ravens. And
matchups.
Ray Lewis put it in the most simplest explanation. He goes, the reason why we could beat the Patriots is because we knew Tom couldn't move. But the second Big Ben got out of that pocket, we were fucked. I saw Big Ben one-armed, stiff, a full-bodied Terrell Suggs. Okay, that's how strong, that's how country strong Ben was. For those of you who don't know who Terrell Suggs is, looks like the Toxic Avenger guy. 6'6", 200, and he's listed at 280. That motherfucker was 310, and can destroy your entire existence. Yet you see that Big Ben was supposed to be this soft guy in a lot of ways, right? In terms of the personality, but that motherfucker was strong, and he was a problem for the Ravens. Him and of course Troy Polamalu. Yeah,
Troy was a problem for a lot of guys. Yeah. Voice cracking here, but
okay, it's time. It's time. You need to rest, brother.
Yeah. And then you still gonna do the show?
I would love for you to do the show. I'm gonna get a quick drink and then I'm gonna start it up here in about 10 minutes.
Okay, I may go. Do my. I may. If I'll for
sure.
We'll
be waiting for you. Come on in, whatever you want. I'll send you the link.
Okay, cool. Okay. So go ahead and.
Or you can just come on to the chat, whatever you want.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Appreciate you, Joe. Thank you.
Again, thanks for having me, guys. We'll continue this. Everyone on the chat. I'm gonna start getting the Lakers fast break going. I'll be there shortly.
Search if you can. If you're still in here, search. Put the link over there so people that are here can go over there. So appreciate you, Joe. Talk to you soon, man.
Thanks, brother. Thank you.
So, guys, on that note, man, what a game tonight, man. Shout out to the Los Angeles Dodgers handling business tonight, beating the San Diego Padres 2-0 off a dominant pitching performance by Yoshinobu Yamamoto and the dominant Dodger bullpen, man. Appreciate you guys so much. This was a great show. I had no visions of going this long, but when you got great conversation, it just keeps going. So appreciate you guys tuning in, man. Thank you to Joe for coming up, help save my voice like a little bit here. Man, what a game. What a series. And yeah, I seen in the chat, man, bring on the Mets. Bring on the Mets. Let's get this done. Let's have some fun. Can't wait to get back to the stadium. And I appreciate you guys, man. This was a tough series personally for me, man. Part of also the reason I took a break from basketball is got some things going on with some family members that are not doing so well. So it's been a rough stretch. So this series, when it looked like the series was over, this was kind of my escape right now. So it was Tuesday was a real rough night. Wednesday was a great night, and tonight just saved the week. So appreciate y'all tuning in. This experience this season has been different because of you guys. I'm not just a fan anymore. When the game's over, I run over here, do the post game, do pre games. We're really building something here. And like I said, for all you guys who know me for basketball, I appreciate you guys trusting me to be your baseball guy and letting me come into your homes, your vehicle, whatever it is you listen, watch. I know I'm not on camera as much, and I'm clearly not afraid of the camera. I always envision myself as a radio guy, right? And so I kind of treat mine almost like a radio show. But a lot of radio guys are on camera now. So if it's something you guys prefer and want more of, I don't have a problem with it. So when Joe was on, I wasn't going to have him just be the only guy on camera, So appreciate you guys tuning in. Like I always say, you guys can be anywhere in the world, but you're here with me. I appreciate that. Wow, just what a win. What a season. And what a ride this has been, man. Aaron says, I got my late grandpa in my mind right now. During the playoffs run, he passed shortly before the 2022 postseason debacle. And this is a big reason I beat. Hey, shout out to that, man. If you guys listen to my show long enough, you know how much my grandpa meant to me, not just as a sports grandpa, because I literally learned everything from sports from him. That hits me too. I told my wife today, I wish I could call my grandpa tonight. But believe it or not, kind of the real reason I started doing this show, at the end of every game, I call my grandpa. Every Laker game, every Dodger game. He made me break the game down, tell him how I saw it, tell him what I thought. We talked for an hour at least about the game that just happened. And when he passed, oddly enough, this kind of feels like my way of still doing that, right? So I talk about my grandpa a lot on this show, so I'm sorry for your loss. I definitely know what that is. I lost my grandpa in 2016, and we got to watch the Cubs win the World Series. And he was like, I never got to see this in my life. And I actually get to see this before. And he wasn't a Cubs fan, but he was a big baseball fan. And he never got to see the Cubs win a World Series. So the Cubs won the World Series, and he passed away a few weeks later. So it was kind of special to have that moment of history with them. So I know what you and ours was kind of a debacle too in 2016. The Cubs beat the Dodgers. So I kind of know, what that feels like. So I miss my grandpa. Shout out my grandpa. Miss him every day. Every time I talk sports, every time there's a big win, every time there's a tough loss, I just want to pick up the phone and call him. And unfortunately, I can't. So if you have loved ones that you share these memories with and moments with when it comes to sports, call them. Call them before the game, during the game, after the game. Because unfortunately, there's going to be a point where you can't anymore. And it sucks. Trust me. So love you guys. Appreciate y'all. Thank you guys for tuning in. I will catch you guys on the next one sometime tomorrow. And one more time. Let's go Dodgers, man. Let's go Dodgers. 8 more wins, y'all. 8 more wins. And we get to celebrate, and we get our damn parade. We get our damn parade. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Drop a like on the video if you have my voices. Drop a like on the video if you have not done so already. Subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already. And I will catch you guys on the next one. Go Dodgers. I'm out of here, y'all. Search. Welcome back, brother. Welcome back. Don't forget. I'll play it. Welcome back, Search. Love you, brother. Hope you had a great summer. Hope your family's well. And hope to catch you on the next one, Search. Appreciate you, brother. Channel ain't the same without you, man. Y'all be safe, man. Love you guys. Catch you guys on the